All right, everybody, welcome back to Watch the Obsession live stream and chat. And I like to go on camera on our weekend date night live streams, but I scratched my cornea with my contact in. I think it could be bunny fur. The eye doctor said it could be anything that could agitate your eye, but it's really agitated. Oh, I was telling you about this the other day. That's what it was, a scratched cornea. So my eye is like all bright red and it's kind of gross. So hi, guys. I'm so happy that you guys are all here. Welcome, everybody. Come on in. If you are new to the channel or new to just participating in chats and discussions with us, please say hi. Let us know where you're from or something about yourself. We definitely want to get to know you. And everybody, we do want to hear your opinions. We just ask that you're respectful to the victims of these horrible crimes, to their family members, to all of the family members, and of course, to one another. So with that being said, this is going to be a Watts letting it out of the vault question and answer on, whatever topic. Listen, I get it. I'm just going to be like upfront about this. With the Watts case, there are a lot of topics. If, you're a certain kind of person, I think it's the majority of the people where you feel a little uncomfortable about going there, about talking about it. And, some of the issues that people bring up surrounding this case can be spoken about in a really distasteful and horrible, godforsaken way. Like that is for sure. But even the tough topics, I think one thing that is awesome about this channel and this channel's community and this channel's moderators and the members and the people that are just like joining us is that we're able to have these meaningful discussions in a respectful and constructive way. Doesn't mean it doesn't get edgy sometimes, but that's one of the things that I've always had an idea of wanting to be able to do with this channel. So it's all good. Just don't be an asshole, seriously, and we're good, okay? So before we get into the Watts Vault, all topics, question and answer, and discussion, I'm just going to play you a preview. Tomorrow night around 9, we're going to have a preview. I just finished, I'm finished with the first part, almost done with the second part. Third part just in the works, but I know where it's going. I'm just like, putting the videos together of a 3-part series. It is the final ultimatum, the week countdown before the day of the Watts family murders, which was August 13th, 2018. And this information, guys, goes so far beyond the timeline and the discovery, behind the timelines that people can put together, putting different information together. We have insider information. We have always trusted, vetted resources. And like when I say that, I mean seriously, like you don't even know. Yeah, we'll talk about that in the video. But it just goes so deep into the connection between, it is, and it's just true. Chris Watts' mistress, at the time, Nicole Kessinger, the woman formerly known as Nicole Kessinger, or in this channel sometimes, also known as the Skanky Empanada, or if you're Veronica Empanada, and the horrible crimes that happened. And I just promise you, when I say different details, new details, yeah, you got it. So I'm just going to play you the first 5 minutes of the first one. And yes, some of the intro is a little redo of the Honorable Michael J. Rourke series. What do we call that? The Bombshell series. But then we get into some new stuff. So I just want to give you a little teaser of that. And then tomorrow we'll be premiering at 9. And then we'll get into the, live discussion. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. Everybody come on in. Again, if you're new, say hello and let us know where you're from or why you're here. Just anything about yourself. We're a pretty friendly group. Don't be scared.
It's your family. Of the murders, it's your family or me.
There's never been any doubt about that. Hold up. This video is going to tell you about. I'm going to bring it into the stream here. And everybody, cross your fingers and say a little prayer. The StreamYard is going to be so good to us tonight. Oh, I know. I have it on the wrong screen. Do you? It's always something, man. Okay, there we go. Maybe it's just me. I think it's just me.
Of the murders, it's your family or me.
There's never been any doubt about that. This video is going to tell you about how it all went down, the details and the facts.
Woman who had an affair with Chris Watts told our partners at the Denver Post that she hardly knew anything about Shanann and that she had only recently started a relationship with Chris. Well, there's now evidence to suggest that she knew about Shanann almost a year before the murders.
Nicole later talked to police.
And then one day he told me that he had 2 kids. I was like, that's pretty cool. And started telling me about his kids.
That sounded like a sarcastic comment.
No, I thought it was kind of cute. I was like, oh, he's a dad. It was like right around Father's Day, too.
She learned he was married, even though she says he didn't wear a wedding ring.
I'm so out of breath.
The other woman claims she met Watts in June. She says she thought Watts was at the end of his divorce proceedings.
I didn't know his significant other's name for a while.
He said. Do you know her name at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you okay saying her name?
It's Shanann. And then I think he told me his kids' names pretty quick.
This one is Chris Watts. Chris Watts.
But police had found her internet searches from the year before. Kessinger searched the name Shanann Watts in September of 2017.
I didn't know his significant other's name for a while.
Am I in trouble because I related to sex?
You're not in trouble. Is it criminal? No.
Well, in Colorado, destruction of evidence is a felony.
Is there concern that you're hiding something? Potentially.
You know, I'm worried about this. She's so little. She's pregnant. Oh, and it's like, where's your mom?
Say hi. Say hi. Cece likes the camera. Say hi, Cece. Say hi. Hi. She loves the camera. I don't know if you guys saw her. And then there's Bella. Say hi. I was in a really and I got a friend request from Chris on Facebook. I was like, oh, what the heck? I'm never gonna meet him. Except
I'm having a wonderful time. You mean a lot to me. And I'm glad that you're having a blast. I am so out of breath.
he's the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Nicole Kessinger turned out to have information that I can best describe as being a bombshell.
Hi. There you go.
This video is taking a look at the interactions between Chris Watts and his mistress, Nicole Kessinger, in the days leading up to the tragic murders of Shanann Watts, 15 weeks pregnant, her daughter Bella Watts, and Celeste Watts on August 13th of 2018. You better buckle up for this one because we are going to be rolling out the facts.
According to Tallman, Watts told him that Kessinger gave him an ultimatum on the night of the murders. It's your family or me.
Was there an ultimatum? Absolutely, there was. So as we start to take a look at exactly what happened in the days, the weeks, and the hours that preceded this horrible tragedy that annihilated Chris Watts' beautiful family, let's take a look at the timeline that led up to August 13th, the day of the murders. On August 7th, 2018, the Watts family altogether flies home to Colorado from North Carolina.
Ready? Set. Hold on.
I love it.
It is on the next day, August 8th, that Watts deletes his Facebook account. It is also on that next day, August 8th, that Nicole Kessinger makes a Google search, marrying your mistress. If that's not enough to happen in one single day after the Watts family arrives home for the first time as a family together just for one night in Colorado, Chris Watts deletes his Facebook page. Nicole Kessinger Googles marrying your mistress. Oh, you just wait. There's so much more that happened on August 8th. According to the Geotab information, Geotab is a tracking system in Chris Watts' work truck. Chris Watts arrives in Nicole Kessinger's apartment at 3:09 p.m. He arrives at 12234 Ray Street, and his truck remains there for 2 hours and 50 minutes. 2 minutes after he parks at NK's apartment complex, he modifies Shanann's contact information in his cell phone. That's at 3:11 p.m. on August 8th. Nicole Kessinger lived at 12255 Claude Court, and Ray Street is right outside of the apartment complex. Both Chris and Nicole stated that he would park on the street and walk into the complex from Ray Street. He departs from Nicole Kessinger's apartment at 6 p.m., 1 hour before the ultrasound appointment with Shanann, and drives 20 minutes, which is 16 miles. So, do you want to know something that happened while Chris was at Nikki's apartment that day? I bet you do want to know, but we'll end that there. So again, the first part of that 3-part series, it's going to be coming out. I'm going to premiere it, do it as a premiere. So what a premiere is, if you don't know, it's like a live stream. Like I'm here, I'm uploading the video, and it says, you know, do you just want to upload it so people can watch it whenever they want? It's a rolling thing, or do you want to make it like a premiere event where it's sending out notifications like, hey, we're doing a premiere right now. You can only get 3 minutes notification for it. That's why you might not get it. That's why I'm telling you, I'm going to try as hard as I can to be on the dot at 9, which means like 9:15. You know this when I say on the dot only. And then we can all be in chat together and talk about, you know, what we're watching, and I can answer questions and things like that. So that really is, you know, the difference between a live stream and a premiere. I know that is always a question that people have, and I didn't even know the difference until not too long ago, really. So, all right. So what I'm going to do is, you know, I have posted, I've done a whole Bella Watts series, and I feel in that series, I have been very honest in my opinion, without, you know, holding back to edit things for, you know, an adverse audience that might be watching, or for the YouTube, you know, overlords. And, you know, really what I've been able to say in those videos is how I see it. And thank you to those of you who have received that. And even if you don't agree, you know, you're like, okay, like I'm just taking this in. You know, it's all good. Generally speaking, the comments get turned off on those videos the second I post them, like before I even see that, you know, it's actually posted to YouTube. So we don't really get to comment on them. I don't really want to go through like all those videos. Well, because that would take a long time. There's like over 2 hours, almost 3 hours of content on that. I will give you a link to the playlist for that if you are interested. But let's just take a look back at, I created this video. It's only like 8 minutes long, a really long time ago when this channel was super young. It might be one of the first videos I made. And it's just looking back at Bella Watts' very, very young life, and specifically, you know, her with her dad, Chris Watts. And I mean, we all know what happened, and make no mistake about it, I believe in the stance of this channel is that man is exactly where he belongs. However, it's no mystery that I strongly believe, in fact, I know there's another person related to this crime that, well, you know, everyone should have their day in court, but I have a pretty good idea how any judge or jury would have had to decided based on what we know. But it is my opinion, she should be doing some time herself. But that hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. So I'm going to bring that into the stream. Oops. The video that I'm talking about that I made a while back, just a young Bella and some Chris Watts. These are going to be some pictures. When I just came across it the other day, I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen, I don't even know I saw some of those pictures. There's some good ones. Definitely some good ones in here. I made the video. I didn't even know I saw the pictures. Oh, I did make this one members only. Okay.
You guys.
A hero, he helps me grow up strong. He helped me
Good beginning.
go
Beginning,
to
so,
the
right.
hero. Blue and blue, my daddy, I love you.
Oh, I want to do that again. Coral, say hi to your grandma. Say hi, grandma. Hi, Grandma. Say hi. Say hi.
You guys ready? Yeah? Okay.
Bella, Cece, say hi, Nana, Papa, and Mimi and Papa. Okay, Daddy's not going to do it if you keep falling off.
Holy cow. If I were to make this video today, I would not choose that for the audio in the background. So sorry about the shrill, but you know, these were the early days.
Well, look in the camera.
Nemo.
Right here, look here.
Hey, Papa.
He's not on there. We're watching a video.
Okay.
You silly goose. You guys,
Was that
see? Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, if you fall off, we're not going to do it anymore, okay?
There you go.
Yes, sweetie.
Watch this.
Oh my God. I'm going to move to, I'm so sorry. That's like torturing. I'm so sorry. Horrible. Horrible.
Are you good? Okay. Do down the hut. Now, CC. Up. Collision. Oh my God. Oh.
Thank God you do.
Thrive plus duo. All the way to go. Oh.
Oh. She's out of breath. Where'd
You
Coral
alright?
go?
You gonna do it?
Yeah.
She wants to get diapers.
Cece's out of breath.
I'm out of breath too, kind of.
Come on, Cece.
Whoa! Oh!
All right, no more running.
High fives?
Come say hi, Nana, Papa. Mimi, Papa.
Yes, Jackie. Jackie.
Oh! All right.
Jackie.
Cece?
Jackie.
Yucky? Good job.
Want to chase me?
You want Daddy to do push-ups
Want
again?
to chase me?
Ready? Chase or push up?
Chase me.
Okay.
Okay. Say goodbye to Nana.
Say goodbye.
Say goodbye to
So I can go
everybody.
chase you.
Bye.
You're so sweet. Cece, blow kisses. You're adorable.
Oh, berries, no. Have a cup of beer. Have a hearty, jolly Christmas. It's the best time of the year. I don't know berries, no. Have a cup of beer.
Ho,
ho, the mistletoe. A man can see somebody that's for you.
Kiss her.
Once for me. Have a hearty, jolly Christmas. No.
On the floor.
I'm just going to kind of move through some of these photos. I don't feel like we have to like 10 seconds through all of them. Turn this up. It's just so hard, I feel, and I want to know what you guys think about this. Like, as you look back on these videos and these pictures, especially for me, when Bella was really, really young, like before Cece was born, and then also most times, almost every time that Chris Watts is with Cece, because they seemed to me to have this very like close, loving relationship. It is just so hard to fathom how in God's name things came to be what they were. You know, oh, despise him, heck yeah. By the way, Footsteps of Murder right there. Really great channel. If you like the timeline information, I've told you this before. I think she does it the best. Definitely go, check her out, subscribe. She's got a really, really solid channel. So just kind of getting into more of like the Watts Vault stuff, talking about the family dynamics and Bella. And we're not going to just talk about family dynamics. There's some questions people put forth about the trial and things like that. But I feel like, I'll just be honest. It's kind of as far as looking at the Facebook posts, for me, it's in 2016, and I have a very strong theory about this, and it has to do with MLMs, and I am working on that video. A lot of you watched the last MLM video I put out about a month ago. It's continuing. It's another long one, but I'm going to tell you all about how I think the family dynamics and the pattern that we see emerge through, stories people tell, but also the Facebook posts and videos and, the parents' own words, how things came to be really designed, I don't know, shaped by MLMs, if we don't want to, assign too much responsibility to a person, or we could say the person, tailored aspects of their life, perhaps unnaturally, to try to work for the MLM. And I don't really know which perspective I believe in this situation because I didn't know these people in life, but you could really look at it either way. And to me, you start to see some of these things that make people a little uncomfortable in 2016.
Have a cup of beer. Have a holly jolly Christmas.
Oh, we can hear Holly Jolly again.
It's the best time of the year. I don't know sparrows. No, I have a cup of beer. Ho, ho, the mistletoe on my own can see somebody that's for you.
Absolutely, Veronica.
For me.
I just want to read this. Veronica said, I would be, my God, I totally agree with this. And I feel like almost anybody who doesn't have some sense of this, I don't know, are you being honest with yourself? Veronica says, I'd be petrified if the entire world got to see me as much as Shanann and pick everything apart that I did. Abso-freaking-lutely. She wasn't living her life for evaluation. She was living her life by trial and error and trying to do the best she could every day. Like I believe that the vast majority of us do. There is no doubt about that. Nevertheless, we do still have this retrospective, memorialization of these moments in this family's life. And especially just as a human being, I was going to say as a behavioral therapist, I have so much interest in this, but it has nothing, I don't even know if it has to do with that. Just as a human being, it's not only behavioral therapists who are super interested in this case, it's people, it's us.
Have holly jolly Christmas.
Now, I will just pose some questions that people have asked me, and some asked me today. Here we have, let's just call it out, the whole rectal thermometer bit, okay? People ask me about this all the time. I'm usually like, we're not going to talk about the rectal thermometer, but here's the thing. Children mimic the world around them. They are trying to figure out their own experience. That's why they play. That's why, they have dolls. That's why they build things. They're mimicking the world around them in this micro way. And we do see, and it is a lot during this year and into 2017 and a little into 2018, Bella with the rectal thermometer a lot with her babies, pretend or maybe possibly really inserting a toy one or a real one herself. We just do see this. It is at that same time, we do know, and these are just the facts. And after we watch this little video, I will bring them up for you because they're all there. I've got them all organized. If anyone does want to see them, because I think you should be able to see them. It was at this time where, it seemed like Shanann was the one who had the push and the interest in this because she was the one who was posting the posts and posting in the Facebook groups for familial Mediterranean fever, which is really not even a thing in, the United States. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to make that determination or even make that statement. But, it is known that she was taking Bella's rectal temperature 3 times a day for an extended period of time. Nobody knows for sure. It was at least 6 months up to a year. So Bella is mimicking the world around her in play. That's just what's happening here. That's just like, what's up?
On the floor.
Yeah, I do want to just make another comment here. So, like, some of these comments, like, I think these, like, conversations or these thoughts to share are perfectly fine to have and share. And it's so weird to me why maybe it's WT. I don't even want to say. I feel like I got to whisper now, or true crime community or whatever. Like, we can't talk about this shit. Well, I mean, guys, right there. I mean, we intellectually understand what's going on, right? So now we're just not supposed to talk about it. Like, I just don't get that. That never has made sense to me. So, let's see. The narrator says, as a mom of 5, my pediatrician recommended we take temperatures rectally until they were around 4 or 5 years old. Yeah, well, I haven't heard that before, but I believe you. And that is your experience. And there you go. And then Wiley Coyote Super Genius says, I can't imagine that's normal. I honestly tend to feel more along those lines, but I mean, that's just me with my experience, John McSmith, how are you doing, my friend? Says my theories change as time goes on. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Victoria says, I think after learning about this case, we'll be wary of social media, as we should be. It's an indelible imprint and a reflection of who you are in the minds of others. If that doesn't matter to you whatsoever, God bless you. But even if I'd like to think it doesn't matter, like when it comes down to it, maybe it does, because maybe it could mean, being able to get or maintain a job where I can provide for my family and, things like that. And, we can extend really, really far. So yeah. Okay. I'm going to just keep playing this. So then again, here we are with a thermometer, and you'll notice how much it happens. And there are some photos, and I will pull them out of the vault since it's a Watts Vault live stream, that I have not even put into any videos because I think they're just a little too like, oh my God. Like, I just have it, but we'll talk about it. Hey, thanks, John. Hey, Jackie.
Get up, stretch out, get on the floor. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. Brand new way, what you waiting for? Get up, stretch out, get on the floor. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. It's a brand new way, what you waiting for? Get up, stretch out, get on the floor. Hot dog, hot diggity dog. Hot dog, diggity dog. It's a brand new way, what you waiting for? Get up, stretch out, get on the floor. Wow, this time is
Now, and here is another, point too, is it's just a perspective as we're looking at these things that people are really oftentimes afraid to discuss. Wiley Coyote Super Genius says, I don't care what you're taking about, like what you're doing, taking your kid's temperature, but it's putting on social media what's bizarre, and there just is that aspect too. Like, if I personally, okay, this is just me. If I saw my child bending over with I don't say so. My theoretical child, not my real one, like bending over with a toy thermometer and pretending to insert it into his bottom, taking a picture of it with like 20 laughing faces and being like, oh, that's so smart. That does not make sense to me. It does not. Like, it does from a, kind of clinical standpoint, but is it like, would I do that? I'm like, oh God, I would not. First of all, I wouldn't. I think my first fear would be, oh my God, that's gonna like someday like embarrass him. Like, that is gonna follow him for the rest of his life. Like we were just saying about social media, it's indelible, right? I think my second fear would just be like, I don't know, man, because I just wouldn't do. But I mean, I would definitely be worried about what people were thinking of me. Like what's going on in her house? Is she mentally okay? But that's just me, maybe I shouldn't be. But, these are the conversations that people have with me privately, that maybe you have with people privately, that people send me tons of messages about. And so, we can just talk about some.
beach. I don't want him to really go in the ocean. I mean,
Ready, set,
Go.
ready, set.
Go.
And then, of course, oh shit, since we're talking about, we'll just talk about it. You know, the other theme that is very obvious here, and I did not pick and choose these. Yes, there are some. I was just going through, I have like a whole file folder of Facebook posts that somehow I didn't get because I grabbed most of them right off her page. Some of them I grabbed from other people. Some of them I got from originally from hers, and I got it from other people. I've gotten from so many sources. So if somebody's like, oh, I see you have a picture of Shanann's picture of somebody's picture, and it looks like it was off of my channel. Like, seriously, get over yourself. Y'all got stuff from my channel on your channels. Okay. Let's just get that straight. So, but you know, we also do see the theme that concerns some people. And personally, does it raise concern for me? Like if this were my sister, my friend, my, you know, my student, a parent of one of the kids, the teens I work with, I would take note and pay attention. It would cause concern for me. The number of sicknesses, the frequency of sicknesses, the chronic sicknesses, the absence of sicknesses when there are kind of fun things going on, like, you know, Lavelle trips and stuff, and, you know, other people are around. It's a pattern that personally would cause me concerns. Many people have said that is so not fair, or some people don't come at it like that. Some people just say, no, I don't think that's right. I had 3 kids and all of them had and legitimately, I'm not like Munchausen's by whatever, you know, until they were 5, right? And I, you know, I believe that, and that's just a different experience than I'm used to.
The pool opens in 2 weeks too.
what's the degrees today?
85 last I checked. 120.
Oh, wow.
No, CC.
Yeah.
CC, get girl.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? She can climb that.
Girls, thank you for the sweet. Thank you for the food.
Thank you for the first I see. Thank you, God, for everything. Amen.
Now, just hearing that audio there, how freaking crazy is that? That's Bella praying a prayer that they obviously recited. She knew it by heart. You know, at her age, for her to be able to say that by heart, she has her eyes closed. She's not even looking at him to get like a lead off of him mimicking, you know, he's going to say with his lips. You know, they were saying that prayer regularly. So there's Bella, you know, saying dinner time prayers with her father, who ends up annihilating his family, essentially because he's manipulated by a master manipulator who gave him some hard ultimatums in a smooth manipulator, ninja-like, skanky and banana way. And then the family's gone. That is the, you know, paramount thing in this case, clearly, for me, and I hope just everyone, that you can't wrap your head around. All these other things are just human things that we have a very solid case study. Well, I won't say case study because that's a clinical term. Very solid, you know, social study of, thanks to Shanann's, you know, meticulous documentation of life events.
Oh, don't look at Daddy. He's opening his birthday present. He's getting a month of Thrive.
Heck yeah. Oh, you got to be kidding me. I gotta censor this, Bella. You serious?
Ice, ice. The kids are thrilled with your birthday present.
Oh, yeah, definitely wearing this. Are you serious?
Serious.
Hell yeah! Oh my goodness!
Well, you know what? So I just want to read this, and this is just I'm gonna while we're just looking at this, I'm gonna start pulling these files out because they're not in my words. This is not my interpretation. Shanann documented and posted all herself, or sometimes in the form of conversations like with her mom or her friends, but it's all on Facebook. But narrator says, I'm sure Shanann, the rectal temp method was not an issue in her mind because her pediatrician probably recommended it. And for the first time mom, she probably thought all moms did it that way. And maybe she did. Maybe that's what her mom did, But at the time, taking the temperature 3 times a day was an attempt to prove 1, then 2. Some people say more, but I know Shanann herself says she went to 2 doctors for sure. She names them. Said, my daughter has familial Mediterranean fever. They said no. And she learned in one of these Facebook groups, the whole conversation is documented. And I will pull it up to show you, or if you want to look at it right now, or I'll just let you view it. You can pause on it and read it for eternity if you want to after that. She was trying to prove him wrong. She had it in her mind that Bella had familial Mediterranean fever. And these 2 doctors were like, no. She was like, yes. She said that, the only way that you're really going to be able to determine it is to do this comparison of temperatures at consistent times over a period of days for a range of time, in, a consistent or raging setting. I don't know. I don't think it specified that. Now I'm getting a little scientific. And then, there's some kind of like, what's it called? It's almost like a differential diagnosis way of diagnosing familial Mediterranean fever, and that is just in her own words what was going on.
Cece got her ice.
They are so cute.
Oh my goodness, I gotta take that day off and the day after off. Hell yeah!
Do it back to Cece.
Come on.
Bella.
Good Bella.
No, cheater!
Go, Cece.
Oh my God. Oh my God, the screams again here. Why did I do this, y'all? Okay, so there we go. So mom is tired, worked overnight, then had to pick up these cuties for Celeste's procedure. Ooh, I just remembered some really good stuff I have that has nothing to do with Shanann, by the way, about Tammy Lee. And okay, yeah, I've got some good stuff for you. Pictures. That is such a cool picture, kind of. But every time I look at that, I'm like, damn, is he maybe like swinging her up a little too high? And then the other thing I think is like, see how her like legs are just like bent and she's like smiling. She clearly was so comfortable and trusted her father 150,000,000%. And, at this age, especially with Bella, it comes through like all the way. And that bastard, I mean, there's not, I have no more words. To betray any child's trust is a horrible thing, but sometimes it's just part of it. But then the way he did, obviously, it's like the ultimate betrayal. Another thing, like I noticed, like when I'm looking at this, is like, and I get it. Well, I don't get it actually, because I only have 1 child, so I don't even get it. But when Bella was young, before Cece was born, right when she was really little, she was involved in like a lot of activities. They were like out of the house with her a lot, doing gymnastics, doing t-ball, doing dance, doing performances, doing gymnastics. And then all of a sudden, like all that stopped. But again, I don't know what it's like to add two little ones to the mix. And I'm sure it makes things much more complicated. Something wrong with this picture? Chris didn't take his Thrive yet, obviously. He's always screwing up. That's dumbass. Nope. Oops. What the heck's that? Oh, what just happened there? Sorry. Alrighty. Then we've got the, crazy photos trying to get Cece to sit still, which she never wanted to do. Mama's thriving to keep up with 2 sick kiddos. Mama needs to feel great. Energy. Thrive. Girls love their Dieter so much. Had to buy them their own Dee Dee stuffed dog. While Celeste didn't feel good yesterday, all she wanted was her mommy and Dee Dee. Aw, she's so cute. I was punishing Bella and told her to go to timeout, and Celeste knew what I meant. I meant business, so she went in timeout just in case. It's different. Maybe it's not. She's just mimicking. Sorry if you hear my son in the background. Oh my God. I'm going to yell just a minute. Call! He's being super weird and he knows I'm doing a live stream. Okay. All right. Sorry. He has his headphones on. They're so loud. He's in like a room that's like, I don't know how far from me. I don't know. If I told you a like measurement, I'd just be lying. So Croup, CC, okay, so that is that. You know, and this is my most hated holiday picture. I just don't like it. That's you. Most of you know how I feel about that, though. You don't need to know again. So, whoopsie. Oh no! Oh my God! I thought I just like hung up on y'all. Oh, and Chick Tracy and Sherry. Oh, Honey Bun and Sherry. Thank you so much for the stickers. Thank you so much. Coal Power. I know I'm being baited by YouTube with that. I don't like being beta. YouTube, please stop betaing me. I don't want to be your beta. And thank you, Sherry, sweetheart. You're awesome. So let's see. I'm gonna grab some comments here. Probably wanted disability checks for the girls. I actually never even thought that. I don't know if you're talking about Shanann, but I never even thought. I've heard some people say that. I wasn't even thinking that in this case. I think it's more of a, you know what I think it is, honestly? And I can relate to this a little bit, but like, I think I don't know. I don't think my situation was very extreme. My mother was not like Munchausen's by proxy by any means, but I do know that when I was sick, I just got so much more love and attention. And maybe some of you can relate to that. But like, I think markedly more so than when I wasn't. You know, my parents are very, very busy, super career people. And, you know, I was an only child and I just felt unseen and left behind or left bleh a lot. But when I was sick, like I got so much love and attention. And as a result, when I was younger, you know, I wasn't doing this when I was like, you know, 25 or something, but you know, maybe I just didn't want to go to school anyway, but I would totally fake being sick just because I knew that meant I was going to get this like love and attention and comfort that I felt like, you know, I wanted, but I felt like I wasn't getting like on a normal day. And, you know, I think that's normal to some degree, but, you know, I think there certainly is, you know, you can go so far with that where it does become a pathological and certainly maladaptive. So Loco Jazz Hand says, yeah, peanut butter cup. No way CC would sit still or not bite or wiggle around with a thermometer in her mouth. Yeah, I know. Yeah, she's like, yeah. You know what? I just found her channel recently and I'm glad you mentioned it. Unapologetically Me True Crime is, yeah, she's really good. Yeah, and she I haven't heard her mention this channel, but thank you so much if she does. She's asked about certain things and resources of information sometimes in her videos. And I always try to comment and say, oh, like here, go here, or I have that if you want it. And then I don't check to see if she replies because I can't even keep up with the, you know, I read all the comments on this channel, but I can't keep up with like the trail of the replies and things. So anyway, she does have a very good channel. And she also, you know, says Footsteps of Murder. She only telling you about earlier as far as the timeline stuff and anything goes is a great channel. She said Unapologetic Mimi has a fabulous playlist for this case. She is so good about Watts the Obsession credit for some content she uses and just can't say enough about the channel. Oh, that's so nice. I haven't ever heard that, just I guess with what I watch, but I have mentioned her a couple times because I very much appreciate her content. So let's see. God, I have so many different things that we can talk about. Let me do this because I said it's going to be like open question and answer and discussion. So I am going to put the link to come up on panel up if anybody does want to come up. And please feel free to come up. Like I said, just don't be an asshole and we'll be fine. Meaning, you know, we want to have an open and honest conversation, but I hope that you feel the way I'm talking about these issues is being respectful to Shanann and everyone else that might be mentioned, except for Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts, because given what they've done, I don't have respect, honestly. But I do have tremendous respect for Shanann and for anyone other than Nicole Kessinger or Chris Watts that we would be possibly talking about pertaining to this case. So if it comes across to you at any time like I'm not being respectful, you can totally let me know because I don't want to be that way. So I just ask the same of y'all, you know? Link to panel. All right, there we go. All right, so there we go. So seriously, come on up. You can come up. We can talk. 12th man says, no one finds it weird that the two girls have the same illness at the same time. How do they have surgeries at the same time? Oh, no, I think that's weird. I definitely think it's weird. I think the medical things are, I think that there's something going on there other than, you know, a cold and stomach virus every other day. That is my opinion based on the information we have. But a lot of people think it's weird. So don't be coming at with me with no one thinks it's weird. You know, lots of people think it's weird. That's why we're talking about it. Let's see. Oop. Yeah, I was thinking that too. I got you, dude. I was thinking that too. Yep. We see you. I see you. Okay. What? Wait, say what? Nicole Kessinger, I believe, might have adult maternal on the what? Am I not reading that right? Yeah, that's a good point. Anna Franco says, I'm a twin. We normally felt sick just about the same time. And like sometimes you do for sure. And especially, I mean, are you an identical or a fraternal twin? Because I know as I was going through my trainings in psychology and behavioral therapy, there's such immensely valuable studies that are done with twin sets or, you know, triplet sets as compared to siblings that are not twins or triplets, or isn't there a name for anyway, or, you know, people that are related but aren't siblings, aren't twins, and then it's really interesting. So absolutely. So you're kind of a special situation. Yeah, identical when you're always together. Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, that must be really such a cool experience. Yeah, Bella and Sissy were not twins. No, they weren't. Sissy, huh? That sounds familiar to me. Sissy. Yeah. Oh, okay. I think, gosh, okay. You guys are really trying to like, yeah. Okay, here's another thing. All right. Shanann Watts claims to have lupus. In her autopsy, they said she was a healthy woman. Some of you might not know this about me. I myself was diagnosed with lupus when I just turned 46. So I was 4D, but so it was about 5 years ago. And it was horrible. Like my whole life changed. Like the way I felt changed. It was horrible. It's a fucking horrible thing. And I think I have I hope I do. I think I have it under control to a good, very good degree compared to the sickness a lot of people experience. But those of you who know me know there will be times where, and regularly for a couple weeks, I'm done. Like I'm having like, you know, like the lupus is coming up and doing its ugly stuff, and you have to give into it. It takes over. And I think perhaps the way I look at it is that you're going to get sicker if you don't take that rest you need when it starts letting you know that something dysfunctional in your body is coming up, right? But I also do know that a lot of times, even being a living, breathing person, you know, if I were like, I'm not having a flare up right now, if I were to go have blood work done, it might not even indicate that I have lupus, although I know I have it because, oh boy, did I have a lot of blood drawn over 2 years to find that out. And it's been proven time and time again. If I'm having a flare up, it's going to like come up in spades that I have lupus. Of the professionals who have spoken on this topic, there was only one that I can think of, and it was anyway, that said, oh yeah, an autopsy would conclusively be able to tell that. And that many others said that typically an autopsy would not be able to tell that unless you got fresh blood sample from someone who had just recently been deceased without a great degree of decomposition. And we know that just like horrifically with Shanann, that wasn't the case. So nothing in her autopsy makes a statement about her having lupus or not. Oh, Shanann Robinson says, I was diagnosed with lupus 5 years ago, right after having my daughter. Well, my gosh, we are really connected in that way. Yeah. Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, it sucks, man. Like, that was like something I wasn't expecting. And I'm sure a lot of people, you know, I don't know, weren't expecting that. So, yeah, Keshik says, my children are 3 and 6 with adenoid problems. Yeah, my son had his adenoids out when he was like 3 or 4. So, yeah. Here the dog says, A Dog's Life, I really pray that someday Chris Watts actually decides to tell the truth about what actually happened that night. Listening to all the text messages, she knew what was up and started making plans to leave. Yeah, you know, she was making plans. She was making plans to be okay no matter what. She was making plans to leave sensibly. She was making plans to, you know, make it work in her marriage for herself and her family, even though she was being treated like dog shit. No doubt about it. You know, I mean, she was doing it. You know, I will say that. Oh, Sub Rose, I see. I'll be right there, sweetie. I will. My God, like towards the end of her life, I couldn't possibly give anyone more credit than I give Shanann Watts. With what she was experiencing, the way she was being treated, being pregnant, being alone, having those 2 really, you know, just a lot of little girls to take care of, you know, being with her family, you know, staying with family for a long time. We know the relationship. Her mom loves her so dearly, and I know she did of her mother, but we know, you know, everyone talks about them having a frictiony relationship when they're around each other too long. Regardless of what happened in so-called Nutgate, the whole thing that happened with Cindy Watts, that knowing really, I feel like she knew for a while that her husband was cheating on her while she is pregnant with his child, being told to her face that he doesn't want that baby, and then mustering up the whatever it was, like the magic that she did to figure out plans to go on and take care of her kids and herself no matter what. Like, I don't know if that's something I could do. I don't know if that's I think it's something we all can do. I don't think it was easy, and you know, it's certainly not something everyone can do. So for that, I think we should all give her, I mean, just nothing but kudos. So I'm going to bring Sub Rosa up on panel. Hey, Sub Rosa, how are you doing, my friend?
Hey, Kelly. Good. How are you today?
Good, good, good. What are you thinking?
I have a theory about this case that's kind of different and unique and kind of my own perspective.
Sweet.
And I wanted to run through my theory with you.
Sure.
So we assume that Nicole wanted Chris, right? Like that was her end game. But what if that wasn't the goal? Right. So if we set aside that assumption, right, this is a theoretical.
Sure.
So any good theory needs to account for all the pieces, right? So how do we account for her calling Jim after each call with Chris Watts, right?
Yeah.
How do we account for her Googling Shanann Watts 1 year prior to what happened? So here's my working theory. On the day that this happened, who did NK call? She called her spiritual advisor from the OTO, which is the Ordo Templis Orientis.
Yeah. And that, guys, that is true. That is true. When people talked about that for a while, I just want to insert here. I was like, you know, I hadn't myself gone through the process of going through all the phone numbers and doing the research, because I wasn't believing what anyone else was saying, because people were saying all kinds of stuff. You're looking at one phone number, people are saying it's 5 different people. But when I actually, with a couple other people, went through and did that, that is who she spoke with. You're correct. That's a fact.
So so the day this happened, she's maybe absent from work. I don't know, but she did call her spiritual advisor from the OTO, and the OTO is Ordo Templis Orientis. And in my mind, the OTO is no joke, right? It's a Smex cult, right? It's the left hand path. It's black magic, right? That's not my opinion. Like that is what it is.
Right.
They practice Aleister Crowley possession magic.
Mm-hmm.
So possession magic. They invite demons into their heart and into their body, right? So when Chris Watts says Jezebel, like, we should look at what Jezebel means. Jezebel whispers her commands at the point of climax, the same as they do in the OTO Smex rituals, right? So what was NK whispering to Chris Watts?
Damn, that's like deep.
Yeah. Jezebel also means worshippers of Baal, right? And it has references to child sacrifice. So if you look up Jezebel, there are references to child sacrifice. So out of all the names he could have picked out of the Bible, that's the one that he picks.
Huh.
So what if NK comes from a lineage of black magicians? Okay, so it's my understanding that her grandfather on the father's side ran a publishing company. And this publishing company published grimoires of black magic, right? Solomonic, conjuring Solomonic demons through sigils.
Okay.
And that's a little bit complicated, but so we're talking about the OTO. This is Aleister Crowley. Crowley has a novel about a moon child, right? And a moon child is conceived through Smex magic, right?
Okay.
So I'm wondering, could NK be a moon child?
Oh, you're over my head, man. You gotta slow this down here. We've got to do some research.
Sure.
Help me out.
It's a novel that's written by Aleister Crowley, and in the novel, there are two people that practice black magic, and they purposely conceive a child while doing black magic rituals, and this child is supposed to have powers. Like, and I know that some people don't believe in that, but the people that practice that, they do believe in that.
Sure.
Yeah. So if NK let a demon inhabit her, right, it might push her to do horrible things, right, to feed these demons. Like they have wants, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that these cults haven't killed before. It's not totally impossible. It's not unheard of. Like there's a Saturnian death cult, and that's real stuff. It's documented real stuff. And I believe that the OTO is like a Saturnian cult, but it's much bigger than you might imagine. Like every major city has a chapter of the OTO, and without a doubt there would be one in where they're at in Colorado. So I don't think every OTO member is inhabited with demons, just like every Mason isn't into dark stuff, but there is that percentage of them that are. So in theory, the demon wants to take a woman and her children. This explains the Google search a year earlier. So NK targets Chris Watts to accomplish this. She's making him smoothies with witchy ingredients, maybe belladonna, poppy seed pods, scopolamine, which is like a zombie drug.
They may also just be your super greens.
That's fair.
Just saying, just the other side of it, maybe. We don't know. We don't know.
And I'm just speaking in theory.
Yeah.
So in theory, a witch would know about herbs,
Right.
And perhaps something dissociative, like different types of mushrooms. When I look at the video of them at the sand dunes, I think that they're on some sort of psychedelic.
I do too.
And I think there was also recreational rug use as well.
I think there was also recreational opioid rug use for sure, as well as maybe some coquina.
And I think that
it just seems like the way they describe some things, and also, I mean, there's a lot of reasons I think that, but yeah.
So when I look at the bikini pictures, I can see a white powdery substance on the counter, and I think that's where this oxygen came from.
I think it is there. I do believe it is there as well. Yeah.
So I'm saying, in theory, she gets Chris's mind all messed up with these smoothies, making him even more suggestible. And she whispers into his ear during climax, you've got an unsustainable life. I can get rid of your problems.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she basically was saying that in her ordinary language to him too, according to both her and him, climaxing or not,
for sure.
I mean, this was like a mantra of hers to him.
Absolutely. And so she convinces him that she's going to give him a son, right? So they meet, leave Jim alone and maybe Dwayne at the Lazy Dog, and the plan is set into motion. That's why Chris says, I wish I never went there. I wish I would have went to the game instead, because when he went to the Lazy Dog, that's when he had to give his consent to what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think that the plan would come with threats. If he implicates her, if he implicates Jim, they will do something bad to his family, to his parents, to his siblings, and he doesn't want that.
That is really, you know what? I gotta say, of anyone that I have heard talk about this OTO connection, I mean, I don't say that it's not there, because according to, and yes, I don't know how to say your name though. KRATM, girl, come on up. I'm gonna throw you the link right now. Of course, come up. I'm so glad you're here. You know, like, honest to God, like, I mean this, and I have heard out everyone who has everything to say about this case, because I did, after all, decide to start a channel called Watch the Obsession, for better or worse, right? So, you know, that is the most well-developed theory on that I have heard thus far, and like, you know, you just stated, yes, it is truth. She did call that the temple master, her, you know, mentor or whatever, on that day. And yeah, I mean, and
so we were talking about the night of the Lazy Dog, right? It's my understanding that she Googled Ronnie Watts that same evening. So
she did.
Could that have been part of the threat?
Left her house, she Googled Shanann Watts, Chris Watts, Ronnie Watts, and 2825 Saratoga Trail.
Yeah, so could that be part of the threat? You know, maybe they pulled up the photo and said, "Listen, you've already agreed to this. You're not going back on it. This is what's going to happen."
Huh.
So I think they planned from the beginning to let Chris take the rap. I don't think she ever had any intention of staying with Chris, being with Chris, and meanwhile convincing him that he's going to get away with this. Oh yeah, nobody's going to ask any questions. We'll get away with this. And maybe that's the reason why Chris Watts doesn't actually know the details, is because he didn't actually do it. He just agreed to let them do it.
Well, you know, this is, like I said, I think that's a really well-developed theory. But listen, I can't wait for you to watch the first part even, and then the second and third part of the Ultimatum series that I'm premiering tomorrow night at 9. Little plug, but
Awesome.
I hope you're there, because it just so happens that, you know, I'm like really working on this right now, and been working on this. So these things are coming to mind, but you know, you're saying, yeah, okay, it could be explained like that. Like you made a really good, like logical argument there for something kind of illogical, right? So that's great. Good job.
I think it ties together those pieces. Like, I just don't know how we're going to explain why did she call Jim after every single phone call with Chris?
That's a good question too, and we'll go there too. But also, I think what you're saying is true. Like, it does explain all those things, but also, when I'm looking at Nicole Kessinger's manipulative behavior, the way that she talks to Chris, according to her, according to Chris, according to other people, the way she talks about it to the investigator, the way she talks to the investigator, the indicators of deception and personality pathology that I can very clearly see are coming up time and time again consistently over that, you know, like over 7 or 8 hours of interview material we have from her. When you include all of the 5 interviews, the FBI interview, the 2 Kobach interviews in person, and the 2 phone ones, even the redacted sections, I have every single word. There's a playlist on my channel. You better believe it. Awesome. And, you know, I just see, you know, her personality pathology is, like I've told you before, and this is just off the top of my head. I have never met her. I have not evaluated her. I have not diagnosed her. And actually, I am not qualified to give this diagnosis, but I am qualified to therapy this diagnosis. She strikes me as someone with a borderline personality disorder. And I'm not saying anybody who's been diagnosed that, by the way, for all of you BPDs out there, are an NK. No, I am not calling you a skanky empanada. I'm calling her a skanky empanada, who also has BPD, borderline.
If we fast forward to Chris on the porch and he's swaying back and forth, I mean, to me, it's pretty clear that he's on something.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. And a lot of times with borderline personality disorders, I mean, substance use is a very common, you know, dual diagnosis.
For sure.
So I'm not challenging you at all. I think your theory is great, but like the way I'm thinking of it, it also accounts for all of these things, except for why does she call Jim every time she gets off the phone with Chris?
Right. And so then NK starts destroying evidence. And I mean, who else ever has had their dad in the interrogation room?
Somebody who has done something really horrible that they know they could serve hard time for, who doesn't want to get in trouble, who has a daddy that's helped get them out of trouble at least twice before for committing a kind of serious and then a very serious crime in the past.
Yeah. So is it money? Is it power? You know, it's very common for, you know, like high-level Masons to also be members of like Rosicrucian groups and other fraternal sort of organizations.
My grandfather was a 33rd degree Mason.
Well, that's an honor. Yeah. That's
he
awesome.
like lived that. He was like the treasurer of New York City for a really long time. And I used to go on like Masonic, like go away with them. They'd have Masonic shit going on. No offense to you Masons out there who don't like me entangling shit with it, but I didn't know what it was. They were like the nicest freaking people ever. Like I just got like all these great vibes, and you know, like
I feel like the majority of Masons are the right hand path. You know, they're doing good things. They want to do good things, but I don't think that the depravity of Aleister Crowley and the OTO can be overstated. I just don't think, since maybe you're not super familiar, or maybe
I'm not.
Maybe
I'm
the
just
other
not.
listeners
I'm familiar on a very like surface level.
So like that novel I was talking about, Moonchild, that's pretty tame compared to Aleister Crowley's other books, and some of the things that he says in these books are just horrific. I couldn't even tell them to you now because it's just so horrible. He's a horrible person. Yeah, it's horrible stuff.
Yeah.
And just because, you know, just because we may not believe in black magic doesn't mean that it's not real, and it doesn't mean it's not dangerous.
Yeah. Well, hey, and oh, by the way, I couldn't pronounce the first part of it, girl. I just saw you were behind stage here. Come back up. I just didn't grab you yet. And I'm sorry if you thought I want to get but oh, cool. How do you say?
I think Kratom.
Kratom girl. Oh, okay, that makes sense. All right. I want to bring in a video. If we can vote it down if we want to. It's Michelle After Dark. I just remember at one point, before the term Jezebel was really heard from Chris Watts, she made this video about him and Jezebel and Nicole Kessinger and Jezebel. It was a few years ago, and it just came to mind. I'm just going to pop it in. If we are like, this isn't really relevant, I'll take it down. But I don't know. It just popped into Monog, so we're going to see what it's about.
Sounds great.
And she's just a great creator. And she is a psychologist as well. Oh, we're Dylan Tallman. Okay. But this was from over 3 years ago. Huh. Was from over 3 years ago, and then he wrote the book. Oh, dude, hold it. Wait. This is something different. Michelle After Dark made this video like 3.5 years ago, the July Jezebel, and she's confirming what Dylan Tallman wrote in his book that was just recently released 3.5 years ago. I don't know. Let's bookmark it. I think that might be significant. And there's my ultimatum. There was an ultimatum, I promise.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like right off the highway in Frederick.
Okay. And you know the streets?
I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out again if I like really had to. Like off the top of my head, no.
Do you know the street name?
No. Okay. I would have to like drive around in there to get there.
Okay.
Welcome, Shannon Grossman.
Did it look like anybody else lived at that house at that
time?
Oh,
definitely. Okay. I mean, the whole
that freaked you out?
I mean, he told me that he was living in the basement. And he said, we're separated, but we're not divorced. And we're going to get ready to sell the house. And that was the impression that I was under. And I was under the impression that they were taking everything pretty slow with this.
And you know what? And this is, oh my God, the context around this. But I just want to read this one comment really quick. Angela, is it Lima? I scratched my cornea. That's why I can't like read small or just it for me, it's small print. Just my opinion, borderline personality disorder with antisocial traits. I'm a psychiatrist. Nice to meet you, Angela. I'm a behavioral therapist, and I 100,000,000% agree with you. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad you did. Whoops. Get back to this.
Putting her at some point, I don't even know how I was doing it.
Whoops.
Living room. I just had the impression that I was under. And I was under the impression that they were taking everything pretty slow with this, with like getting ready to sell the house. I mean, those are big things. So that's what I was informed. And I mean, if you think about it, this whole thing happened in a 6-week stretch. Like, it's not really that much of a time frame. So in that sense, like,
you know what, you skanky bitch, it never would have happened without you. So all of this, like putting things on Shanann and the way everything is constantly Shanann and Shanann, the way she says her name, and it just like irks.
She has
the
nothing but
soul of
contempt.
my
Nothing
existence.
but contempt for
Nothing
Shanann.
but disdain and contempt. It's disgusting. It's a woman who never did anything harmful to her, and all of the harm. I mean, Jesus Christ, she's the cause of that woman's life being ended and her whole everything. Oh my God. I'm just gonna keep playing this because I'm going to work into a rage.
it's believable to me. Yes, I went to the house, and the first time I was there, I hung out in their like front living room. I just sat on the floor, and it was on the 4th of July. It was the morning of the 4th, and I was helping him to set up
with his macros,
MyFitnessPal app,
yeah,
and like track his food, his calories.
Well, we
and
all
stuff,
know why
he does
she's
pretty
really
good with
there.
the
I've told the
working out
story a
and stuff.
million
And he
times.
asked me, he's like, "Can you help me just like get this dialed in?" It's like, "Yeah, I can do that." So that he invited me up to the house, and I was already kind of hesitant to do it because I was like, there are other people that live here, and I just felt like it was an invasion of space. And so I went up there, and we just stayed in that front room, and I helped him out with that, and got him all set up with that. And then, he asked me if I wanted lunch, and he grilled chicken and carrots. And then that's all he had. And I was like, okay, so we ate.
Remembering, this is a bitch at the beginning of this interview said, I don't know, you're like asking me to remember stuff that's in a line. Like, I can tell you like generalities, but if you're asking for specific things, yeah, I don't think so. So
we
she's
talk about the most random stuff, the hour and
chicken and carrots and sitting on the carpet. And I mean, it's like, for God's sake, at least get your disgusting skanky ass like consistent, if nothing else, but she can't do it.
And then I laughed.
I think it was like when she realized that, okay, like she's the other person in the relationship, that I'd always put my wife first over her, and that's what kind of made her take a step back a few times, and then like I had to kind of like calm her down.
Tell me about those times. What'd that look like?
So the first one was probably on July 4th when I had to leave her house. She wanted to kind of spend most of the day. I guess that's where she went to like a baseball game or something.
Okay, well, you can barely hear Chris there. Now, I just want to read this comment. Then I'm going to tell you what Chris is saying. So, your claims Jim is involved do not come close to standing up to scrutiny. I just want to say I personally do not think Jim is at all involved, but I know some people do, and I like to listen to it. So, Chris Watts is talking about how okay, 4th of July, Nicole Kessinger's birthday is July 3rd. Now, remember, they apparently started dating the day that Shanann Watts left to go to North Carolina for 6 weeks, which was June 26th. It was that night when Chris Watts shows up at her doorstep with one box of open condoms, half used, and one box of unopened condoms. Classy dude. And so now this is July 4th. So we're talking like a week later. Okay. So it's the day after her birthday. He wakes up in her bed. They were doing like whatever, black magic, like triple input. I don't know. They do a lot of stuff. So then Shanann is like blowing up his phone like 5:30 in the morning, 6:30. Why are you not up? Why are you not up yet? He doesn't wake up till after 7. By that time, Shanann is like pissed beyond pissed. Like, holy shit, she is fucking pissed. And so he gets on the phone with her. Like, he knows she is pissed. And, whatever one woman in Chris Watts' life is, and there is always one and only one, and then the others are discarded, if that reminds you of anything. But anyway, Cindy, Shanann, then Nicole Kessinger, he obeys that woman. In this moment, he is showing us that he is still the bitch to Shanann. Shanann is his master. So Kessinger's in the shower. He's like, yo, my wife's pissed. Gotta go. Thanks for the triple input. And she's like, whoa, wait a minute. Are you coming back? He's like, nope, the wife's pissed. I left you a clean towel for cleanup or whatever. $10 on the stand. And sorry, guys. I just got to go there. And so he's home. Well, again, remember, supposedly they just started dating a week ago. They, before that, nothing. They live like 30 miles away from each other, but apparently she knows where she lives. Well, we know she's a very good Googler. We do know that. She shows up at his doorstep after he went home unexpected, like, oh my God, because he left because of his wife. Well, what's he going to do at that point? He's just was shampooing the carpets because that's what his master told him to do, obviously. Come on in. You can barely get the door open. She comes in, she sits on the carpet that's been shampooed, or probably the part that wasn't shampooed because she's dirty. And then she says chicken and carrots. Well, according to Chris, a whole lot other than that went down. And that was the first time he had to talk her down off of a ledge because she went cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. Because after being together, dating, doing whatever they were doing for like a week, he showed some disinterest in her. And that is something that to me, I'd be like, this certainly isn't the full criteria for something like borderline personality disorder with antisocial traits, but it is certainly an indicator, and I am going to keep that in mind. And that's what he's saying here. So I'm just going to move past that part, and then I will let you talk in a minute. Let's just see what else this video has.
10 times you were sleeping because you had your day off, and then you go outside to talk to her on the phone and then tell Nikki that you need to go home just in case she calls back and all that, right? So what did she say to you, Nikki?
She was in the shower. She said, okay. And then that's like, when I talked about I calm her down, he's on the phone.
And was she like, we're breaking up, like we're not gonna, I can't do this?
No, she said like she didn't want to, like she didn't think it was safe for.
So then she shows up his house and he says, I don't think it's safe for us to see each other anymore during that day. She apparently has a baseball game to go to that night. She then later tells Chris that she was supposed to have a date at that baseball game, but he didn't show up. So whatever. So these are all manipulation techniques from a very insecure woman at the least, antisocial personality traits at best, or actually reverse that, least and best there. So this all from a psychological perspective is making total sense to me, but not.
And based on the text messages that NK was sending her friend, it sounds like this isn't the first home that she's wrecked.
Right. Yeah, she's wrecked. She's had a lot of triple, quadruple inputs. That's right.
See each other anymore that day, like the rest of that day. Because of all that, I'm like, okay, that's fine. And she asked me to come over like later on after she got back from her baseball game.
Weird, yeah. Totally so. You don't want to read this scribe. Should I let people read this scribe, or should I read it out loud? What do you think, Sub? You make the decision.
Yeah, you can read it to us. That'd be great.
Yeah, okay. All right. So I'm just gonna mute this for a minute. So it says Nicole's at Chris's place, except Chris is at Nicole's place. Why doesn't Chris mention her going to his place? And why doesn't Nicole mention an argument about Shanann? Yeah, those are my questions. Did they both forget details, or are they both lying? Good question.
Second time I went to that house, I'm not sure what day it was, but it was the weekend.
We don't know exactly when it was.
14th.
Of August?
July. I don't know if it was the 14th or the 15th. One of those 2 days. But we had went out and we stopped there just real quick on the way back. And we were there not very long. But that time I saw a picture of his wife and one of his kids. And I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, she's so beautiful. And I took a step back and I was just like,
no, Reed, that time I saw a picture of Shanann and his kids and maybe more. And I pulled the same manipulative shit is what she really should be saying.
This man has a gorgeous house. He has beautiful babies. He has a beautiful wife. He has an awesome job. Like, why would he want to leave this? And I remember talking to him about it. And that was the first time that I tried to actually say, what do you think about not separating from your wife? Like, what if you really try to work on this? And he had expressed to me that we've tried to work on this and it's not working. So that is why we're separating. And I spent some time, just, kind of, because it almost made me feel bad, where I was to the point where I'm engaging in a relationship with a man who, the way he described it, is in a contractual agreement, but was not in like an emotional relationship with somebody. And for me, the way I would have preferred to do this is to avoid it till that contractual agreement was also done, and he was done. And he could have approached me and said, I'm just had a divorce, you know, maybe we could take this slow. What do you think? But instead it was, oh, we're separated and we're working on a divorce. And that is the part that I feel bad about, because
yeah, you feel bad that you didn't cinch the deal when there was a deal that actually cinched. That's what she feels bad for herself.
The irony of her saying that she wants to take it slow. My goodness.
I know. It's like, it's absurd.
And, you know, I was just like, well, they're already there. So, you know, but then being in that house, I was just like, why? Fix this. Find a way to fix this. Make it work, you know?
Find a way to fix this. Make it work. Get rid of your family.
Yeah, that's exactly what you were telling him.
Yeah, that's what she's saying. She's not saying fix it with Shanann. She's saying fix it. Get rid of your family, or find a fixer. Yeah.
And I was like trying to push him to do it, and he seemed pretty reluctant to do it. He didn't want to.
No, he didn't want to kill his family, but you brought him there.
And I don't know. We were still seeing each other fairly frequently, but I kind of like backed away so we weren't hanging out quite as much. And we were still close, but it was just like I really wanted him to try. Like I wanted to know that he tried and it didn't work. And then I
wanted to know that he tried, he had a plan, his family was on their way out, and then it would be simpatico for me.
Moved on, not that, you know, they both kind of tried and then he got himself into a situation with somebody else.
Holy shit. Like Chris, hey girl, how are you doing? I was just thinking about you. I was thinking about texting you before this live and I didn't, just because I ran out of time. And then I was late substantially, of course, like always. But awesome to see you. And thank you so much for the super sticker. And while I'm at it, Pepper is a member for 5 months. Thank you so much, Pepper, and for being an awesome moderator. Says, love you, Kelly. I'm with you, Sabrosa, trying to come up. Oh, awesome. I'd love for you to come up. And Beach Bum, member for 8 months. Appreciate you, Beach Bum. It's awesome to see you.
I just thought he had a beautiful life going on and he could have made it work.
I wanted to be part of
that. That was the way I looked at it from the outside.
So is this something you reflected on since this event, or was this you?
No, I was doing it then. Like you
said, this doesn't look right. He's kind of, I don't want to be responsible for breaking up a marriage, especially with 2 children. Is that kind of the gist I'm getting here?
I love her response to this. I don't want to be responsible for breaking up a marriage. It doesn't look right, especially with 2 children. I want to break up that marriage. And then this is her response.
I didn't think it didn't look right. I mean, I think he was legitimately sleeping in the basement. And I didn't think that these 2 were, I mean, I think it was like, hey, we're both stuck in this house for now. We got to sell this. In the meantime, you live here. I live here. We sleep in different rooms, take care of the kids. That's just like kind of how I took that. And no, I didn't think it didn't look right. I just thought it just seemed like he had so much going on and it was just beautiful that I was like, why don't you just
get rid of it? I can have it,
and see if you can fix it. And he'd always be like, well, what about us? What about us? I'm like, don't worry about us. Like, that is more important. Like, try to see if you can like salvage whatever it is that you have going on with your wife. And you know, I always got the impression that he was a great father to his kids. Like
classical pathological personality, antisocial trait, whatever you want to call it. Chris, you with me? Manipulation tactics here. Classic.
Always. And so, you know, and I was like, and be the dad that you want to be. I was like, and see if you can make it work. And he just, like, we kind of talked about it off and on for like a few weeks. And I was just kind of like, I don't know.
Okay. July 14th. 2018, says Michelle After Dark. This is her video. If you're not familiar with her channel, it's great. She's a psychologist. She's wonderful. Awesome content. Oops. At 9:58, Kessinger called Watts and held a 5-minute conversation. Oh, okay.
I've never been there. That's right up your alley. I was just like, that was awesome. Just walk around cars for like an hour or so.
topics. It's kind of timeline to know about. All right, this is timeline stuff we kind of already know about that we talk about, or that we can just, so this is a great video and she's great, but it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to drop out of this particular one for now, but we love Michelle After Dark. She's amazing.
Yeah, Michelle After Dark is a good channel. I
Yeah,
agree.
she's great. Yeah.
I wasn't able to see all the comments. I saw one comment that said, that what I was saying about leave Jim alone doesn't stand up to scrutiny. And I just wanted to say that it's just a thought exercise.
Oh, yeah. No.
I'm not making any accusations. I'm just saying, what if, and I think that, we're a bunch of web sleuths. We ask these questions. What if this? What if that? We're trying to put the pieces together, And it's just such an interesting piece of information that she called Jim after every single call with Chris, that I just don't see how leave Jim alone isn't involved in this.
Yeah, well, here's the thing though. I mean, but okay, so if we're gonna look at it like that, my thought is we'd also need to look at the pattern of calls and the pattern of her behavior and interacting with him before she was dating Chris Watts and when Chris Watts wasn't, calling her. They weren't talking as much, and when they weren't talking as much, and we do have that period of time, and that is when Chris is in North Carolina, and lo and behold, when Chris is in North Carolina and they are communicating less frequently, Kessinger is actually communicating with Jim more frequently. So rather than every time she gets off the phone with Chris, she calls Jim, she's just calling Jim more to replace Chris essentially, and also to get her Jim calls in.
And wasn't Jim also staying at her house for part of this?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Like
exactly
he had a key. She said he was there that day.
Mm-hmm.
That's awfully interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What a coincidence.
Yeah. Well, maybe, but I think leave Jim alone, man.
I'll leave Jim alone.
No, I mean, not necessarily. I've tried to be swayed in the Jim direction, but I just think he's kind of an innocent, dipshit bystander. Like Chris, describes him. It's actually in the video that we're going to be watching tomorrow when I premiere it at 9, is being just NK, Dave Baumhofer asked him about him in the prison interview. And he's like, yeah, it's like, it's Nikki's longtime friend, they're just, totally, he's asked, is it totally platonic? He says, yes. They've been friends for a really long time. Apparently Jim has had some women problems. Things don't really work out very well for him. He's always in Wyoming or freaking somewhere else way out there working in the oil fields. And he's kind of got this, life, and they're just kind of old school friends. I have those relationships with guys. Like I could see, I mean, I don't call anyone that much, but,
But I mean, given Nicole's, lack of boundaries, I have a hard time believing that her relationship with Jim is just platonic. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you could totally be right. Now, Aura Moon is 7 is picking up on something that's like a little, a little not a topic of what we're talking about now, but I know exactly what you're talking about. And I do know exactly what you're talking about because once upon a time back in the day, I did 2 live streams with PowerPoint presentations talking about why what you're asking, and this isn't being personal, but I just want to respond to it. And you know what, we can take a look at it if you want to, and some other theories around that. And I think I kind of know where maybe they originated, or maybe they originated just like in your own mind as you're looking through this stuff. I don't know, but other people have asked this question. Why doesn't his watch record the flight of steps? And you're talking about when Chris Watts is at survey 319, right? Tell me if I'm wrong and correct me, because then we'll move on to that topic. But why doesn't his watch record the flight of steps? Well, first of all, it's not a watch. If we're talking about Chris Watts, he didn't have a watch. He had a phone. So I think the question is, why didn't his phone record the flight of steps? And my answer always has been when he takes his deceased daughter, Celeste, and then Bella up those flight of steps. This is my theory on it. And I don't know. He doesn't carry his phone with him for 2 reasons. Well, he's carrying his deceased daughter and then his other deceased daughter. And then also because, Kevin Bashnick, are you here? We've had this conversation, right? Kevin Bashnick is proudly a WotC Obsession. Well, I'm proud he's a WotC Obsession moderator. He's also an expert in Chris Watts' field of work. And it seems to me all things oil field and geotab and fleet and all that stuff. And the video I'm putting out tomorrow, Kevin, we go to some geotab information I never really honed in on. I meant to share with you earlier this week, but it was just I was back to work and I was busy. Anyway, so he knows that, and tell me if I'm wrong, Kevin, taking those phone, like, okay, when the the investigators, the responders, the whole rescue team had to come to see if those little girls were in those god awful crude oil tanks. When they opened up the thief hatch and they were looking down in, they couldn't even use like a regular flashlight for fear of that causing an ignition. Am I right, Kevin? And so thank you, Kevin. He's here for the oil field questions. And so I think, is this right, Kevin? People that work in the oil fields know not to bring your cell phones up around a crude oil tank hatch opening for fear of all of those things that they teach you in oil tank safety school. And Kevin says, yes, Kelly, you are correct. Yeah. So that's why his phone doesn't record that flight of steps, if that's what you're talking about. But I'm so glad you brought that up, because it is an interesting point and it does need to be discussed. But that's my answer to that.
Kelly, earlier you were talking about Unapologetically Me, and in one of her videos, she does kind of a breakdown of how many steps that he takes, where she gets deep into the math of how many steps it would be from his truck over to the tower, back to the truck. And that's pretty interesting. She makes a good case for that.
Interesting. I haven't seen that one. I'll have to watch it.
I'll send it to you in an email.
Thank you. Let's see. All right. Let's see. I'm trying to catch some comments here. Oh my gosh, so much to talk about. So much.
Hey Kelly, I'm gonna hop back in the chat and get myself a cup of coffee. And I really appreciate you letting me come on and.
Oh my God, thank you so much for coming up. That was super interesting. I'm so glad you did. Like, we have like so much to think about now. And then thank you so much. I appreciate you, Sub Rosa.
I appreciate you too. Thanks, Kelly.
No, take care. So then Aura Moon says his phone was in his car. Yes. And then Chris didn't have an Apple Watch. Chris had his phone number 73, his personal phone in the Discovery, item 70, catalog to 73, 74, his personal phone, or I got those flip-flopped and got a whole lot of shit from some really like sleazy channels about it. So what? It's one or the other. Those were his two devices. He didn't have an Apple Watch. Shanann did. But so many details in this case, it gets like, ooh. Yeah, great job, great stuff. Yeah, good job, Sabrosa. The black magic stuff would explain why Chris Watts has a hard time with certain details, and he's almost guessing some things were down that he's almost guessing on some things he ought to know. That's what you're saying, right? But also, the intensity and the trauma of what he was doing and going through and the decisions that he was making, and the self-inflicted PTSD, in part perhaps from Nicole, but in part self-inflicted, could also cause that same like mental lapse. So could, rapid onset substance abuse, which I think for Chris was the first time he was like trying lots of substances when he was with Nicole Kessinger. I don't know that. That's just my opinion. So all of those things could explain the same phenomenon of Chris not knowing what the hell was going on. You know what I mean? But yeah, you're totally right. Chris became a member again and gifted 10 Watts the Obsession memberships. Thank you, Chris. I seriously do miss you. You got to come up sometime. I love having you on panel. Chris is another behavioral therapist kind of person. She's got a doctorate in like behavioral psych. I don't know, something like what I have, but another degree up. Got to be chasing her now. No, Shanann had a watch. Did he have a watch or phone? Shanann had a watch. Shanann was the only one with an Apple Watch. Chris had the personal phone and the work phone. Yep. Yeah, of course. Come up on panel. Absolutely. I want you to come up on panel because I want to hear what you want to say, but I'm actually going to find some content I have on this topic that we're kind of approaching now so I can present it to you with some facts. But yeah, Justice A through Z, love you. There's a link. Come on up. So many things to talk about. There's never an absence of things to talk about with this case, is there? It's like wild. Yeah. Also, why did I hear he had a watch? All right, y'all. Here, I'm gonna show you. All right, let me get my trusty old Discovery out. Okay, just hold up. I gotta dust it off. Just kidding. It's never dusty. I read it like the Bible every day. Just kidding. I don't read the Bible every day, and I don't. Well, some days I do read this every day, several times a day. Sadly. Let's see. So I'm going to show you where they list all of the electronics. And I mean, he just didn't, I'm sure of it. I mean, yeah. Okay, so I've got Pepper, woohoo, and Justice A through Z. So I'm going to bring up Justice A through Z and Pepper. Hey guys, how you doing? So I've got Pepper, woohoo, and Justice A through Z. So I'm going to bring up Justice A through Z and Pepper. I know it's Pepper. Hold it. So I just muted you, Pepper. So what you have to do is, I know it's Pepper. Hold it. So I just muted you, Pepper. So when I was, wait, don't unmute yourself. Don't unmute yourself. So what you're doing is you're listening. Don't unmute yourself. Don't unmute yourself. I got it. Don't touch the volume. So I'm going to explain. Trust me. So many people do it. So
Kelly's got it.
Yeah, I got it. So when you're listening to YouTube in the background on your computer or on your phone or on your TV, you're going to need to turn that off because now you're in, when you click the link to come up here, you're clicking into StreamYard. So you're going to hear it through the link that I provided you that you clicked on. Whatever you were listening to before is YouTube, and you've got to shut that down or I'm going to get really bad feedback. But people don't tell you this, and you don't know unless someone tells you, right?
Live and learn. Live and learn.
Yeah, so like give me a thumbs up if you think you got that. And if not, maybe a moderator can try to talk Pepper through that. Yeah, so like give me a thumbs up if you think I think you got that. Nope,
So
I'm still getting the feedback.
Try to close out the one screen so that you only have one screen. Hit that little X.
I can tell she's on the computer, right? It looks like it.
Yeah, like on a laptop.
Yeah.
So yeah, just X out of the tab that's behind the tab that you're in. I think you got it, right?
All right. All right. Let's see.
There it goes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there's still a little bit of an echo. No, I gotta mute you. I'm so sorry, Pepper. There's still, okay. Can one of the mods try to talk Pepper through that, like behind the scenes? Because I would love for her to come up, but the echo's like, we know it's like it's hard on the ears, you know.
And look, I've got my professional mic and everything.
Yeah, I love it, girl. Oh wait. I think do we have the same kind of mic? What's your mic? What kind of mic is yours?
I don't know. It's my son's mic. My cat ate my little tiny mic.
Oh.
I don't know. Is it the same?
Oh, no, I think it might be different. He's got a different setup though. No, yeah. I love this mic. I've had it for a few months. I love it.
It's so much better. I'm glad that my cat ate my other one.
So what's on your mind? I'll bring it up, Laura Moon. Maybe you're right. We'll bring it up and take a look. Go ahead.
So I made that comment. I think I had texted you about it a couple weeks ago. And now I don't remember where I found the information. And I want to give you and everybody a trigger warning in case this is accurate and you've never heard it before.
Oh, yeah.
And you've probably heard it. Do you remember when I texted you about it? I had discovered, I don't know how I missed it. And I'm glad that I did because, man, you got to brace yourself. Trigger warning.
So trigger warning. Everyone got that? We're putting out a big T.
This is horrific. I mean, the whole fucking situation is horrific, but when Chris dropped Bella, I could just cry. When he dropped her into that tank, he dropped her 20 fucking feet and she landed in less than 18 inches of crude oil. So Cece was in what, like 7 feet of crude oil?
Yes.
So she only dropped like 13 feet then, and then she, you know, her poor little body was at least cushioned by that disgusting sludge.
Yeah.
But freaking Bella, man, she must have had a bunch of broken bones that they never mentioned, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's
I was just
and
livid.
she's so petite as it is, you know.
Well, she's long and tall, and then to be in 1.4 feet of crude oil.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was blown away. I was like, how have I been studying this case for like 3 years and I only came across that specific information?
You know, I don't know. Like with that, like, 'cause I thought about that when we had talked about it before. I was like, I feel like that's one of the things, like, my brain just didn't need to take in. I'm like, I'm good without that one. But it's okay. You presented to me anyway. Thank you.
Well, right. And I think that there's that if we do come across it, that we just want to block it out,
Exactly.
of course. But also, I think that it's information that's suppressed because it just makes you so much sicker. Like, you didn't think you could get any sicker over the whole thing.
Yeah, I know.
Like, can we just rip that bastard apart with our bare hands?
Oh, I know. I am all 100% for that. That is never in doubt. Yeah. I mean, thinking about and then for those of you that are triggered by this, we can move on from it. But just thinking about the details we do know, I'm like, I don't know. I don't feel like I need to know anymore. Like, it's so upsetting. It's haunting.
Right. And then
I know you all know.
And I saw somebody had mentioned something in the chat about 5 or 10 minutes ago about they didn't think that Shanann would have went to bed with her makeup on. And it reminded me of something that Ara had said in one of the lives about that Shanann was OCD, and there was like I think makeup wipes on the floor or something.
Yeah.
Which, you know, Shanann's not going to drop her freaking makeup wipes on the floor.
Well, you know, listen, and I hear all that you're all saying, but also you have to consider Shanann's condition at that particular moment. She had, left to go to Arizona. Nicole Atkinson picked her up at 4:30 in the morning that Friday morning. She was in Arizona with, that group of Thrive people for those days away from home. Everybody says they were so worried about her. She wouldn't eat. She wouldn't drink. She wasn't sleeping. All she was doing was worrying. She was a basket case. She wasn't mentally stable. They were worried about her mental health. They were worried about her physical health. They were worried about her losing the baby. So then she comes home. She's expecting to get home around 11:30 at night. Freaking lightning storm, power out. We can't take off. She doesn't get home until 2 in the morning. And then, not even to what, she clearly in her, ideal world, or even in her, any kind of acceptable world, would have at least a mediocre like welcoming home from her husband, or at least him, passively being asleep. What she came home to was, not that. I don't know if she walked right into the horror, but I don't know. I mean, I think even as somebody who like OCD staunchly would take their makeup off, mascara, every single bit of it, every single night. I think on that night, in the condition she was at, I think even before he did what he did to her, I believe that woman was at an all-time low, and it may have been an exception. And I'm not saying it has to be that way, but I like with the makeup taking off conversation, I'm just kind of like, I personally, I look at that side of it too.
Yeah, totally. Well, it's interesting, Kelly, because the last time I think I was in one of your lives, I think you had a different opinion about when the little babies were snuffed out. Because you were just saying a few minutes ago, and I like that. I like that our opinions can change. But a few minutes ago, you were saying that.
No, go ahead.
That he took their lifeless bodies downstairs.
No. Up the stairs, up to the oil tanks.
Right. But they're lifeless bodies. Whereas...
Yeah, no, I think that Cece's life was either completely ended or almost ended, to the point where she was not the same in the, in the house, and she was in the basement, like that theory. So I felt the same
agree.
on that. And I think that Bella her life was ended in the backseat of the truck, just like he basically explains it. I believe him. That's one of the things that he talks about that I believe is Bella's experience from, the parts that he is actually speaking about from, when they left 2825 Saratoga Trail until the last thing he talks about, which is Daddy No.
I don't believe anything he says.
Yeah. Well, the reason I believe that, as I've explained before, is that, his tell for truthfulness is opposite of, for what a normally functioning person would be, which is that he actually like cracks and shows some healthy, what would be considered to be like in the range of normal emotion about the horrors that he's committed and witnessed.
And see, I have such a different perspective, girl, but I love that. It makes good conversation.
Yeah.
I think he's so effing crazy that he completely hallucinated a story that he tells. If those words were really said to him by the daughter that he took care of,
yeah,
I don't think he'd be able to reiterate them without crying.
Well, see, because I don't, as we've discussed before, I think two things about Chris Watts. I believe, I don't know this, I'm not claiming to know this or diagnose this. I believe after working with, before I was a behavioral therapist, I was a special educator for many years. I believe he, to me, has a lot of characteristics and indicators of somebody that we would know to be diagnosed as being on the autism spectrum. Like I kind of figure where he is, but anyway, that's enough to be said.
I agree. Paula Plunder calls him Rain Man in one of her videos.
Oh, okay, yeah. And I also believe that he has a sociopathology as well. If not a psychopathology, I don't go so far as psychopathology. Where's my Chris girl? I go with the sociopathology. So if he is on that spectrum with a sociopathology, then him, of course we would break down, but him cracking and the showing of emotion that he does is right on radar for indicator of truthfulness with what I believe that his personality profile is.
Well, and he also, I think, definitely has disassociation going on. There's no way he could have done it or talking about it without disassociating.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. The other thing, and I'm trying to remember what my source was when I came across that information about the 1.4 feet of liquid, that just blew me away. It was another content creator that was kind of new to me, I think, and she was really good, but she was saying that her opinion, and I'd never thought about this, but I agreed with it, was that Shanann was rolled up in the sheet. And
that's my opinion. I plugged in my community post because she's good. Okay, anyway, but go ahead.
Well, and trigger warning again, because I had never thought about this and it's horrifying. So trigger warning that the big garbage bags were not to cover Shanann's feet and Shanann's head. That those big garbage bags were for each of the girls.
Oh yeah, I think that's Kathleen McKenna Houston's theory. Yeah, I think she was talking about that here.
I think she's right. Oh, was it on one of your shows?
I think so.
Like a month ago, maybe, or something.
Yeah. Last time she was on here. Yeah.
It's all a blur. The holidays.
Yeah, our friend Kathleen McKenna Houston, who wrote the book Blood and Marriage and a ton of other true crime, research-based books that are amazing. She'll be on again soon, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that is what it was. Thank you.
Yeah. So I know, horrible stuff. Here, I'm gonna talk about anything you want for a minute. I'm gonna try to find that phone answer in the discovery here.
Okay, talk about anything I want.
Well, Watts related. Say Watts.
Cool. Okay, because I was going to say this is great. This is I'm doing a hat trick of YouTube because I did my my own little live earlier, and then I did a yoga video that's uploading right now. So I'm actually on my yoga mat. You can kind of see it right here. And then and now I'm on your show, and this is so great because for people that don't know, and I saw somebody make a really sweet comment about me, and I appreciate that so much because really I'm just a nut job.
Aren't we all?
Well, if we can't admit it, then there's something wrong with us.
Right.
But you are responsible for getting me onto the streets of YouTube, and it's hilarious.
Oh, that's right. My girl's channel, Justice A through Z. Go check it out. I love it.
Xena, Warrior Princess. And so I was trying to find that video a long time ago, and then I found it. And then I was trying to find it again a few days ago, and I couldn't find it. And I kept going to it, but I was like, no, that's not it. That is one that was a few days later, which is like July 8th or something of like 2022. And it took me like half a dozen times before I finally realized that that was it, but I remembered it so differently because I thought
what
I was.
are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Say on Watts case.
What?
When you were
it was alive when I was on
the first time you were on here.
The first time. So I was like your special guest. So you made a big deal. You rolled out the red carpet. You were like, woohoo.
This is
my mental health expert guest who's married to a cop and everything. So she's got this, interesting perspective. So yeah, you totally rolled out the red carpet.
Talk about that at the time.
What's that? What was that?
Except we didn't talk about that at the time. We didn't talk about your husband at the time because you weren't ready to do that yet.
Right. I don't talk about him much because I'm not a cop. He is. So we talk and I get perspective from him, but we don't talk about his work that much. And whatever he says is from him. Like I could have him come on, except that he wouldn't. But I'm just the wife of a cop. I don't want to make a big deal of that because that to me is kind of, I don't know, like being a housewife or something. I mean, I have my own life. I have my own profession and all that. And it's like
I don't know. Your husband can credential you. It's cool. Let him. It's good.
your direct experience is different than like the secondhand information, basically. I mean, if I was like maybe on a ride along with him, it'd be different.
Yes.
But what was I gonna say? Oh, that tape, it's like 4 hours long the first time you had me on. But what's so funny is I wasn't the only guest. That's what was throwing me off when I was trying to find it. And I kept thinking that's not it because I was on a panel with Ara. Ara was there.
Okay. What were we talking about, girl? What were we talking about?
Kurt was there.
Oh, I know. I love Kurt.
Yeah, and somebody else might have been there too. Yeah.
Dude, she's not going to answer my question. What were we talking about?
DC Primetime. DC Primetime was also there. DC Primetime was also there. Cool. So it was like a 4-hour video. Oh man, it was long. That? I know, and I was on it for 3 hours.
So we probably talked about a lot of things.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, I mean, I think that I was planning on coming on to kind of discuss like a psychological profile, kind of like a diagnosis kind of thing, because I do have an expertise in diagnosing, but even though I'm not a doctorate level, I'm just master's level, but I had a job title that I had to diagnose people, interview them one time and diagnose them, and that diagnosis was going to stick to them like glue. So I had to be very accurate and thorough.
Gotcha.
But yeah, the thing with your WotC obsession, did you do what you needed to do?
Yeah. So, thank you for doing that. Yeah, I did ask you to just talk about anything, didn't I? Okay. And I wanted to get to, I am so bossy. I know. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm bossy. Okay.
It's your channel. Like it or leave, right?
Great. Right. Let's see. I just found it. Okay, here we go. All right. So what we're doing is we're addressing the question of, did Chris Watts have a watch, like a smartwatch? So
he probably had a dumb watch. Sorry.
Yeah, right. That was a good one. Oh my God, I messed it up again, dude. What? Hold it.
Oh, I know, Kelly. He had a doofus watch.
Yeah, he had a dumbass watch. He had a like unthinkably despicable bastard watch. Okay, here we go. All right. Why is it taking me the wrong page? Okay, because I have to scroll down, Kelly. Just scroll down. No, it's not. Okay. Manually go up. Oh, this is not my normal Discovery
Oh, no.
file. I couldn't.
Sideways.
I was I clear some like memory on my like local storage here, so I have to do this like the funky way, but we're almost there. And holy cow, do I have memory and all that? There's just like a lot of true crime on this computer. All right.
So what are Aaron and Veronica talking about? She never drove there. Are they talking about NK not driving to the police station? In the chat?
I have no idea. I mean, she did not do that. We do know that.
Oh, wait, she got rid of her car. She got rid of her car on day one. Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah. I got it. Okay. So we have item 40, Watts work phone. Okay. So this is an Apple 5S, and here's the serial number. This is his work phone. This all checks out. I've gone over this so many times. Then we have Watts' personal phone, and that is item 41. According to Discovery, it's an iPhone 7 Plus. It all checks out. The numbers all check out. The image, it all checks out. Okay. Then we have Shanann's personal phone. It's an iPhone 7 Plus. Then we have Kessinger's personal phone. It's an iPhone 6S. It all checks out. I promise. And then, above that is the mentioning of Shanann's watch. I must have been first, I think. Or maybe not. But I know he didn't. I know there was no Chris Watts iWatch. That's all I can say. But I'm going to leave that one alone because I'm like beyond 1,000% certain of that one. So, yeah.
Was the other person on panel able to come back up? Pepper, was she able to?
Oh yeah, Pepper. How's it going?
Like, I'm amazed that there's no feedback just with the, the mic.
Yeah.
But it's, technology magic.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah, I believe he was transported in the vehicle too. But while we're on the topic of Chris Watts' work phone, I guess I'm just going to follow this up for a minute here.
Wait, Veronica's saying that she thinks Shanann was transported in NK's vehicle.
Oh, is that what she said?
I think that's what she said, and I think that I agree with her. I don't think she was on the floor of the
in her vehicle. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do not think he put Shanann on the floor of his work vehicle. He was OCD fastidious too. There's no way he was going to put.
No, I don't think at that moment. Wait, but you're saying he's disassociative and all that, like at this time, but then he's going to be OCD about putting her on his floor or not? Like,
no, he's not going to break rules. I mean, he's not going to break rules.
He fucking murdered 3 people.
I know, but he broke
the biggest rule you can break 3
But
times.
he's still not going to put his kids. He's not going to put his kids in his vehicle without their car seats because he's freaking Rain Man, and he's not going to put.
So where do you put them without their car seats?
They went in NK's car.
Oh, I don't know that
or something like that. I mean, why did she get rid of her vehicle? Why did she get rid of her vehicle?
I don't know.
I know.
I don't. Wait, I have to say, hold it. I have to say, for legal purposes and stuff, I know people say she got rid of her vehicle. I've been led down those roads, but I myself, and I just have to say this because through my research, the only thing I can stand by, I have not found solid proof that she did get rid of that vehicle like right after. I mean, I think maybe she did, but there is that I know of no evidence of that. If anyone does have evidence of it, please send it my way, and I would love to present it.
I think Jim was driving her vehicle, possibly. I mean, let's put it out there as a question.
Mickey Mouse could have been driving her vehicle.
But I think that whole thing, remember that whole thing with Armchair Detective and the red car? Like, what do you think about that?
All I can remember is red car. It just turned into like a,
It was like red herring or something.
Yeah.
The red car, I think, allegedly, like.
I mean, I think there may have been a red car. I never understood how it really connected to anything.
I think it went to the street behind the house, and that his theory, I believe, was that they carried them out the back. The Minnie Mouse window. The Minnie Mouse
right.
window.
Yeah. Right. That's right. I remember.
Because I don't think that Chris. You'd have to be dumber than a dumbass to take.
He is, though.
He's not going to take a full-size adult out into his front driveway in a neighborhood like that when he knows that he's got nosy neighbors. He knows that everybody's got their Ring doorbell cams. He's not carrying a 150-pound person into his driveway, outside of his house, into the driveway, and then into the car.
Here's where the logic disconnects for me, though. But he is dumbass enough to somehow get 3 deceased human beings, his own family, and take them 50 miles to a freaking oil field for a company where he works, where he's supposed to be that day, where he volunteered to be that day 3 days in advance, and dispose of their bodies there with her only 18 inches beneath the ground surface. That also is not something a smart person does.
Right.
Or
Nothing he did was smart. I mean, kissing NK is not smart.
Yeah, but you just said he's not dumb. So is he dumb or smart? I mean, like, I'm just trying to make logical sense of it.
He's dumber than a box of rocks.
Right.
And I know that you respect our dear friend that's been on maternity leave, ATS, Amber Truth Seeker.
Yeah.
And she has a wild theory that I really respect.
I think her wild theory is where I love Amber. I love ATS News. I think she's great. I think she's an awesome person. I think she does good work. I think she's an awesome woman. But when she started going on this whole, it's for the environment, and they were threatening Chris Watts' family because of the environmental stuff. And I actually don't even want to go down that road because it gives me.
I haven't even gotten to that part. I hadn't tuned into those. Like, I think I know what you're talking about, but yeah, just the theory that he didn't do it alone, and that he was strong-armed into a lot of it. I mean, we know that he doesn't have a brain of his own. I don't think he masterminded the idea. I don't think he was like, "Ooh, let's do this." But I don't think
it takes a mastermind. I think it takes someone who's very malleable and not doesn't have a strong constitution and has some sociopathologies and is on the spectrum to be manipulated by somebody who's a master manipulator like NK, who she herself suffers from, in my opinion, borderline personality disorder with, as Andy said, along with antisocial personality traits, and knows how to work him. And she just, he's like vulnerable prey in her world. She wanted what she wanted. I think all she wanted was him and the life that she thought she was going to have when she was with him, because she's always seeking the life she wants. As all she does, totally narcissistic.
The life that they built. The life
and of course he's going to be foiled by that. He's a dumbass, as we just agreed on. It doesn't take much. He's like a very malleable, like parasite of a chameleon man who just latches on to the strongest woman in his life and just goes with it. She wants him to kill his family. It's as good as done. And that's what he did.
Exactly. And I think it was her idea. And I think she planted the seed.
Yeah. Oh, she definitely planted the seed. I mean, I don't think he says, and I believe him on this too. If he hadn't met NK, he never would have thought anything was wrong with his marriage, and he never would have annihilated his family. I believe that's 100% true. I mean, could something else have swayed him since he's such a piece of shit? Maybe, but I don't know.
He is such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so disgusting.
Yeah.
So I actually was going to argue that I don't think NK is diagnosable. I think she's just Satan.
Well, that's kind of I don't know if you were here when Sub Rosa was up talking about the OTO theory and all of that, but
I don't know what the OTO is.
The oh god, you're gonna have to go back and rewatch it. I couldn't even explain it. I'm just simply not knowledgeable enough.
What does it stand for?
The temple, somebody help me out. What is it?
Like a personality thing?
No. Like that temple, what's it called, guys?
Like a cult?
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah, maybe. Would we call it a cult? I don't want to be incorrect. I just can't remember what it is.
OTO, it's some kind of organizational
temple something. I just can't remember off the top of my head.
The creepy crap that her and Jim were probably involved in. The black magic. Yeah. Well, and it's black magic, but it's also sex magic,
Yeah, that's what Sub Rosa was taught. Sub Rosa gave the best synopsis of that theory possibly being applicable to this case earlier in this live stream. Go back and watch it. It was amazing. Like, I'm still like really wowed by it. So yeah, it was amazing. You did a great
And
job.
did you see that Kez Chick is saying that Pepper would like you to drop the link again?
What's that? Oh yeah, okay, yep. But listen, if I mute you, just gotta let me go with it because that noise is it's hard, it's difficult. But I hope you got it, girl.
I can mute me so we can see if she comes in better, and then I can also drop out. But I'll stick around for a minute. But I'll go ahead and mute.
I have a diagnosis code for Satan, says Chris 666. Yeah, you go, girl. I love Chris. And thank you for the gifted memberships again, Chris. That's so generous of you. I'm trying to like pin it. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, hold it. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to do too many things here. All right. So yeah, Pepper, I just dropped the link for you. And OTO is that I just looked it up. Something temple, I don't know. I'm just gonna give up on that. If I see someone mention it in chat, I'll make you aware. Where's Sub Rosa? Are you still here? Tell us the secret, Sub Rosa. Oh, here we go. Nope. Never mind. It was a long time ago. All right. We'll see if Pepper's gonna work here. Aw, how old's your little one, Kylie? I'd love for you to come up. All right, Pepper, let's try it.
Okay, and I Googled it. It's Ordo Templi
Orientis,
secret society, magical organization that was founded in the early 20th century.
Yeah, I just pinned it. But we can't go back into all that. We just went down a like long but very scholastic and well-researched rabbit hole. But not rabbit hole maybe with Sub Rosa, but that's exactly what it is. How you doing, Pepper? Welcome.
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing
so
good.
new to this, man.
Come up.
This is crazy.
But you got it figured out. You got it figured out. That's great.
Actually, Kez helped me. I'd have never made it without you. Thank you, Kez.
Oh, good job. You're not our chat girl either, so that's awesome. Good job, Kez. Thank you.
Yeah, it was great because I was lost. I was like, man, I've got stuff coming from everywhere, and I knew I was only on my phone. We don't have a TV going and no radio. So it's like,
I know
crap.
it's hard. I mean, I've tried to go on other people's panels before, and I've had to get off because I couldn't figure out where it's coming from. And even after I got off the panel, I still couldn't figure it out. And I have a YouTube channel, so it can get complex.
Well, StreamYard's been messing up the whole time for me, but I think that it was in my my Google settings. Yeah, it was in my browser settings, but I fixed that part.
Awesome. So what are you thinking about? What are you thinking about relating to this case, Pepper?
Sub Rosa has I think she's on point. My husband, I've been dragging my husband through the mud with this for the last couple of weeks, and he's been saying it the whole time, that it was something bigger than. I think we're missing something. You know what I'm saying? And I think Sub Rosa nailed it tonight. There's something.
Yeah, that was really impressive explanation he provided. I usually. Listen to that, but I'm kind of like, yeah. But I was really hanging on every word. Yeah.
Right. And where I'm at now is okay, because I'm with you, Kelly. I really feel like Chris is where he needs to be. Right.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, my husband's like, but baby, if that's the case, if it's something demonic, something bigger than that, that's out of his control, is he really where he should be? Shouldn't it be her?
Yeah.
And not him if he couldn't control it? Or is he still viable because he's weak or slow, special, whatever you want to call it? It's still, I mean, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I guess the thing is our legal.
You muted, Kelly.
Oh, sorry.
I did.
Okay. I guess it's a matter of our legal code doesn't have any space for accounting for black magic or maybe hypnotism, but not the kind of stuff that we were talking about with that. So I think that kind of our justice system is based on personal accountability and responsibility to your society and your fellow man. And in that regard, both Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts failed in stripes.
Right, absolutely. And that's what I was trying to explain to him. I was like, well, at the end of the day, he still failed his kids. He still failed his wife, and him being weak is not an excuse. It's just the way it
Yeah.
is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But
Yeah.
it really bothers me that she's freaking just scot free and
Oh,
has a
she's a
life, and
nightmare. She's a nightmare.
Shanann and those beautiful girls are just gone, and Nico never had a chance. And then if it was something like that, was it more about Nico than any of us realize? Was it about the
Well, I think
sacrifice of the unborn child?
I was going different. I think for Nicole Kessinger, it was very much about Nico, because we have proven on this channel that she well knew that Shanann Watts was pregnant. Oh my God! Wait till you guys
Oh,
watch
yeah.
the video that I'm premiering tomorrow at 9. It's gonna be wrapping up all this stuff. I can't wait. So
Who is?
yeah, I don't want to give away the video secrets, but we all know that she told Chris Watts that she wanted to have his first son, and she
Oh,
probably
absolutely.
did. She wanted his, maybe like now with what Sub Rosa and you were saying, maybe in a different way than I would have said before. She wanted his everything and his soul, but she also just knew that Shanann was pregnant, and my God, that like burned her ass, and she just, it's just one of her manipulation things, and I see all of this as an outcome of, very poor, inexcusable, what should be punishable by our justice system, human behavior.
Right.
That doesn't and I love the way Sub Rosa explains it, and I love like the ideas you're bringing in, but I'm not seeing it having to do with any kind of like black magic. Like, I believe in the good and the evil, and I do unfortunately believe in the demonic for reasons that we've discussed before, but I don't.
Right.
I maybe that was involved, but I just think this is the most disgusting, despicable, unthinkable, inexcusable, horrific, fucked up human behavior you can like possibly.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that 100%. And
I have an opinion.
I think that even if it was all right, first of all, I just because of the way I was raised, I believe that first of all, you got to believe before that can take a hold. Anyway, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know if Chris had it in him to even think that far ahead past the affair. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna get like real foul, but
Yeah.
I don't think that he was.
He was whipped. He was whipped.
Huh?
Yeah.
He was whipped.
Yeah, I don't know if he was. I think that I definitely believe that it went on a lot longer than what either one of them ever freaking admitted.
Oh yeah, big
I
time.
don't think that it was half as innocent as he would like for everybody to believe. I think now he just is settling into the fact that he's stuck where he's at for the rest of his life, and not getting no pussy, not having no wife, not having no kids, not having no nothing. And it's just, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he has a lot to think about.
I have an opinion that I'd like to share and see what you guys think. My opinion that I formulated a few weeks ago, it's evolved over the years, is that I believe that NK was at the house that night waiting for Shanann to come home with Chris, and that she helped or did the deed with the kids. I think that they were already deceased before Shanann.
Honestly, I don't think Chris physically, I really don't believe he killed any of them.
Yeah.
I really don't.
And
I think that Nicole, I think that NK and Jim took care of that. I think Shanann was probably attacked as soon as she walked in that house that night. I think those
100%
babies
agree with
were
that.
probably.
But I also want to be careful as far as like I don't want anyone to.
Oh, it's
think
totally in my
that
opinion.
I think that
Total
Chris should get
speculation, but
sprung. I believe everything you just said, but I don't think that Chris should get sprung ever for any reason whatsoever, because he allowed it all to happen.
oh no, I don't either. I was just wondering like what everybody thought. I don't either. Like my husband, on the other hand, has a different opinion about like Chris. But
Yeah.
now he's like, fuck Chris.
I think that those little girls were taken care of for
Yeah, no, he was just he said what
hours.
he was saying was he didn't see how anyone could really hold him accountable, or at least in God's eyes, how like he would be held accountable if it really was out of his control that way. But that would be between him and God. And I don't want to. I'm glad I'm missing that conversation, but baby. But
yeah,
I
I don't
think
know.
that he and him were there together with
I
those two
wonder.
little girls.
I
with the
really wonder more what happened with the girls than anything. I I have a question. Does anyone when they did the autopsies, could they tell? I know that they knew that Shanann was strangled or whatever, but could they tell if it was like from the front or behind or how she was? I'm just wondering.
It's a good
well,
question.
well, okay. So I just always I have to say this. So the autopsies, while certainly we reference them and I've read through them many times and I've listened to many expert analysis because I'm not an expert in that field in medical. That is not my expertise. So I don't like go into a deep analysis on this channel. The way I
Right.
understand it is that there are certain indicators they believe, but then I've heard certain people believe different. So I really don't know. I guess it's like up for discussion. I am
Right.
getting like a little out of energy, or I would go pull up those autopsy reports, but they feel they can tell like what hand was positioned where. So if the person was right-handed or left-handed, and there are some things that it is believed they can tell, but then others have said with a level of decomposition and some other factors that were going on, they didn't think that was necessary. So I feel personally that is a debate that is not yet been resolved by the experts in that field, but I don't know.
Right.
I ain't no doctor.
Okay.
But it's a good
I was just wondering.
It's a good question, though.
Did you find
Because I was just no, I was just wondering. I'm still pondering on the. I don't know. I just have a hard time. It's all in my opinion. I have a hard time believing that Nicole didn't do that. I don't know. I could see her just being so freaking gun ho to just end it all.
I could see her doing it too.
Well, and like Cindy D said about almost 10 minutes ago that it always bothered her when she says they're so little, they're like that big, and signals with her hands. When did she
Right,
ever
but she never met them.
Right, but obviously she did because she knew exactly how tall they were.
Oh, I don't. But see, then again, that's something we like when she says they were this big. I mean, everybody.
Right, yeah.
You're
The whole
only
fake
you're sitting in a
crocodile tears
chair,
thing.
you're only going to put your hand at a certain level that varies maybe like 6, 7, 8 inches, and it's happens to be approximately the height of a little kid. Like I
Right.
don't think that means she knew how tall they were. I think she was sitting in a chair and she was being dramatic and like with her body language, like she often is, and that's like.
Oh yeah, because she knew it was going to get her that grace or whatever.
She was going to get to pretend to cry for a little bit, which was going to give her
right.
a
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Before and after was about the 111-minute conversation. The last thing she wanted.
They still have not explained. They don't remember shit about a conversation. It was hour 111 minutes the night before, but yet they can remember.
Do you think that they might not have been actually on the phone together, but that they were letting the phones have a what I mean?
Or whatever?
They had the phone call happened, but they weren't talking. That was like a setup to make it look like she wasn't there.
Possibly.
Like she was at his house, but she had him on the phone for 111 minutes. They didn't talk about anything because there was no phone call.
Yeah, I had thought about that. But if she was there, then was the babysitter still there then?
No. That was the next
babysitter was the night before.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. That's okay. So that's where it was like, okay.
We got the Saturday night when they went to the Lazy Dog and had the babysitter who was supposed to leave at 10, but left at more like 10:30 because Chris was busy at Nicole Kessinger's with the triple input or whatever. And then Sunday night was when the 111-minute phone conversation happened, which just happens to be, just a few hours before, when it seems that his entire family annihilated. So yeah, crazy.
She fell off. Pepper fell off.
Pepper fell off. Somebody catch her. Where'd you go, Pepper?
She slipped right off.
Oh my God.
It happens.
I know, right? Now, I just want to note that Aura Moon said, and thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I just read, I think it's on Discovery page 411, that she was strangled from behind with one of his arms. And you know what? I do remember that was like the official conclusion that I know that law enforcement and whatnot was going with. Thank you for that. Yeah, I totally forgot that. There's a certain way you'd call it, but yeah, that isn't Discovery. Thank you. I don't think I would have recalled that.
Does Pepper want to come back up to,
Oh, yeah.
Was that like
Hey,
accidental?
Pepper.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry. MS hands, they got mind their own.
All of us.
But
you guys can talk for a second. I'm a little tired up. My voice is a little tired. Chat away though.
Kelly, I didn't know you had lupus.
Yeah.
Sorry, but
yeah,
I have MS, so I get it.
Yeah. Well, that's it's.
How long have you had that? How long has that been? You said you have it too, Pepper?
I have MS.
MS. Wow.
Yeah. I was diagnosed in 2011.
Isn't MS what Annette Funicello had?
Yes.
Annette Funicello, yeah.
The Three Musketeers.
Yeah, Richard Pryor had it.
I remember when I was a little kid learning about MS and Annette Funicello, and then doing like some kind of fundraiser, I think, through my school for MS research.
Yeah, it's endless. It feels like, yeah. I was diagnosed at 31, and it's like 85, 86% of females that are diagnosed aren't diagnosed until their late 40s.
Wow.
And I was diagnosed pretty early, but I had spinal meningitis and mono the same summer as a kid.
Oh, wow.
And
I had mono as a kid too, and that's something that's related. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're just saying they think that that's like a link. They have no idea, but they are trying to piece it together. Still no cure or anything, but it's okay. I get up every day, put my big girl pants on, do this. It's all
Well,
right.
that's amazing. It's
probably a lot
amazing.
better treatment for it now than there was 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll be honest with you. I don't do any treatment. It's
Wow.
I don't. It drives me nuts, and it's, I don't know. It seems like kind of crap. Just get you to take more medicine, and
I think that certain treatments work for certain people, and some people are I commend you for doing that, or doing it like the way you are. But it's like different things are available for different people, right?
Right. It is. I mean, it a lot of it works for some. I found out I'm allergic to albumin. Our body produces that naturally, which is crazy that you could be allergic to something that you naturally produce. But
Isn't that like what egg whites are?
That's what autoimmune is. Yeah.
Is that what egg whites are? Albumin.
Albumin. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
That's egg whites.
Yes, ma'am. And so a lot of MS. Well, actually, most of the good MS drugs have albumin, like an extra, boost of albumin. And so I have allergic reactions to a lot of them, and side effects that are just sucky. So, and I'm back in school and stuff now. I'm trying to finish up getting my master's in psychology, and it's just, I do. Thank you. I'm doing a lot better. Just me and my kids and my old man and my books and Watts, and
Awesome.
it works out. It's a lot better. I used to get really down about it and be pissed off, and I just figured it's not used to be pissed off about it. So I just It's good. It's all good.
Well, congratulations. That's
Kelly,
good.
how long have you been diagnosed with lupus, if you don't mind my
5
asking?
it was well, I was 40, so 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago.
And so how does that coincide with, didn't you start your channel like 4 years ago?
Yeah, I started it. I think I believe when I started my channel, it was actually almost a year to the day after I was diagnosed. And I didn't realize that, but yeah, that's how it worked out. We figured that out.
And that's
at
just
some point.
wild with Shanann's diagnosis too. Well, and you'd probably been studying the case for a long time before you started your channel.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
So you were studying the case, and then you realized that then you got diagnosed with the same thing. That's
well, okay. So I mean, it must have been in like it was in. I can't think. Okay, because my birthday was just a couple days ago, and I turned 46. So I believe.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
What day is your birthday?
The 30th.
Okay.
Of December. So so it would have been 2019 or 18. I remember recognizing at some point that when I heard lupus and Shanann, obviously I had that personal experience I was going through, and it was very new. But that's all I really remember of it. Yeah.
Yeah, mine just kind of like it just kind of smacked me. I was nursing at the time, and I was going across the emergency room floor to start a IV on a patient, and I just lost my legs. Legs just went. And they flew me out from that hospital to a Wake Forest Baptist hospital, and it took me 36 days to move my toes.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yeah, I spent what was it, baby, like 4.5, 5 years in a wheelchair.
Oh.
And God and my husband and my son won't having that shit. It's like, get up. Yeah, so
wild.
Yeah.
So, but you walk now and everything? You don't need a wheelchair?
Yes, ma'am.
Nice.
Yeah, I was in the hospital week before last, 4 days. I had a real bad flare up, and so I'm having to use a walker right now, but it's not a freaking wheelchair.
Yeah, better, right?
And
Yeah.
my husband's like, she'll come off that. She'll come off that.
Oh.
So it's okay. But
Well, lots of prayers for you. I know it's hard, but you're doing awesome, and I'm so glad that you're part of the channel community. And thank you for
I
all that you
love
do.
it. And I'm so glad. Thank you for you and Kez and Jody, like let me be a part. It's awesome. Like it really is.
Thank you for you
I
doing.
love it.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. I just read the most absurd comment. It's just something I've been hearing forever. I'm sorry. That was like bad.
No, you're fine.
It audibly made me chuckle. Sorry.
It's all good.
Chuckle, chuckle, chuckle.
And Justice, I love your channel. I've been like binge watching all your stuff.
Oh,
I love it.
I love that. Are you serious?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
That's
I've been telling everyone. Yeah, I share I share all Kelly's content on my channel, and then I share all yours too. So
Oh, you're so sweet. I love my channel. Like, I don't feel like it's a big channel, but I feel like it's just what I need it to be, you know.
it might not be a big channel, but you guys have like a big impact, a big voice, and so it's cool.
Thank you. I mean, I
It's
just
like
feel like there's so much crap on YouTube. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff too, but it's so hard to find like just real actual people. And there's more and more of this AI crap coming out that you can't tell the difference.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
hideous.
AI is going to ruin us, I swear. That's what attracted me to Kelly's channel when I, first started following like a year or so ago. It was just like just how just open and humble and factual everything is, because there's so much bullshit.
Just being human. Yeah. It's like, we all make mistakes. We can change our opinions. We can say the wrong thing and, apologize for it if we misspoke. I mean, we got our words twisted or whatever.
Yeah.
Or,
I'm sorry.
Those things happen. It's okay. It's okay.
But thank you. I appreciate that. My mic was like just getting unplugged for a moment. And also, I do think it's important. I personally feel like I'm up here, like I want to have an open and honest discussion with people. I want to hear different opinions, but like if, Justice A through Z and Sabros and other people are like, you're presenting theories, but like the way that I like, it might not even be the way I'm like attached to thinking about it, but I have another way of thinking about it that makes total logical sense. So like, I'm definitely going to talk about it, but like, I just really appreciate when people understand that how committed we are to the facts here. So like, I just,
Oh, absolutely.
with like true crime, all that, like, if channels are just like, we're just talking and that's what we're doing, like, that's totally cool. But when they're just like trying to present that they're like, you know, being like scientific or factual and they're not, it drives me insane.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
and really honoring the lives that were lost.
Right.
I mean,
Yes.
it's so freaking awful. And
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, it's like I of course want to respect the families, of course. And at the same time, it's like, I mean, we know, because we're YouTubers, we know that Shanann would love that she's being talked about on the internet. She would love it.
Right.
She would. I honestly think she, like, if she has a sense of what we're doing, I truly, to the bottom of my heart and soul, believe that even like maybe if she was passing, had a sense of knowing that her life had meaning and her story, that for some reason she
Oh,
recorded,
absolutely.
cataloged and shared, was going to go on and be discussed and cause meaningful discussions and impact real people's lives in a positive way. And I know that Shanann Watts like loves that. I know it. Like, I don't mean to sound
Yeah, and
weird.
I hope it's burning
I
NK
just feel
up
that so strongly, and it pisses me off.
along with syphilis.
People are like, "Oh, you're anti-Shanann Watts." Like, no, you have like no freaking idea how pro Shanann Watts I am. You know, but it doesn't mean I'm going to
Right.
have a conversation about anything. You know,
Right.
Kylie Cosmos says that she's coming up on panel in 15 minutes.
Oh, I don't, honey. I would love to have you on panel, but listen, I am fading. I don't know if we're gonna make it 15 minutes, sweetheart. But
Kelly's like, I'm tired.
I know. I'm sorry. I worked like 2.5 hours. It's just, but I mean, I just do not take that.
You used to go
I
twice
love
that
your
long,
comments.
Kelly.
I could just let you guys.
You used to do the longest lives. I had so much trouble keeping up with you. Because if I came up on panel, I felt like I needed to stay until the show was over.
Yeah.
And then,
oh,
you
I know.
I don't do that so much anymore. It's like when I'm tired, I have to go.
I know. I've had a hard time cutting my lives down from like 6 hours to like 2.5 or 3 hours. So like, I start talking. I like have whatever, you know, planned, but then like I always just want to go with whatever people are like want to talk about. So I'm like, all right, let's go in that direction. Fine. And
Well,
then,
and yeah, when you have guests on, yeah, because like I can't do a
no,
live.
even like with a chat, I'm just like, okay, I know. Well, with the Watts case, I'm like, I can navigate this, baby. Don't worry. You tell me where you want to go. I'm gonna get you there. You know, but then, you know, when people come up and talk, that's even better. Yeah.
And Edward says the longest live stream that he stayed was 12 hours. Wasn't
Was
Kelly,
that this
though.
channel?
What?
Was that this channel? I think the longest live stream on this
Wow.
channel. And I think it was when freaking during the Idaho 4, we're talking about, you know, WSU Kim. After I've been talking to the guys that I don't want to go into that case. I don't want to say anything about it. I just want to tell this story. I am not going to go into that case at all. I don't want to get so she just ends up coming on my channel, and all these people are talking, or was it the freaking crackpot in the Kylie Rodney case that was kind of like WSU Kim. They're both like cuckoo, cuckoo.
Right, and I call her MC Ultra.
Yeah,
and it almost seems like it is the same person. There's a possibility that it is the same person. Real quick, if you don't mind my saying, I fully believe that Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2 are the same person as this weirdo in the Micah Miller case that came out and said that she went to the church.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The Micah Miller case?
Oh, wait. No, I know what you're talking about, but I don't know Jane Doe 1 and 2.
Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2 were a couple of, I think, fictitious party goers in the Kylie Rodney case that interviewed allegedly on the Chronicles of Olivia channel. I'll just say what it is.
Oh, that's right.
It was complete and utter crap. First of all, Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2 were the same person as each other, but they were also the same person as this weirdo from the Micah Miller case that said that they went to church with Micah Miller. And I want to say that they came out onto the streets of YouTube via the same freaking channel. But they had
That
the
is
same,
crazy.
they had the same voice. They had the same, like, fluctuations in
Do
their
not
words.
mention that channel. Do not mention it, because if somebody's doing that, I do not want to give them even one single view. So please just don't mention it.
Right. And it was like the same syntax, and it was the same kind of story, the same kind of like, well, I kind of knew them, but not really. Like everything was the exact same. I was just like, this is Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2 in the Micah Miller story.
But see that, like things like that, people like that, that's what's wrong
I know what channel you're talking
like
about.
But I
anything
think-
trying to be right, because
and I
that
think
gives
that
no justification to anything.
I think MC Ultra could very well be WSU Kim. They have the same voice and the same attitude also.
Yeah, they're similar. I think they're different, but yeah. But Chronicles,
Right.
I
I think they're probably two different people, but they're so much alike they could actually be the same.
exactly. I couldn't remember if it was one or the other freaking crap case who came on panel, and I don't know why we.
I'm gonna go fix my husband some dinner.
Oh, you're so
Kelly,
nice.
thank you
Oh,
for
you're
having me.
No, thank
Justice,
you.
it's nice to meet you.
You too, Pepper. Lovely to meet you. What are
And
you cooking?
y'all have a good night. Get some
What are
rest,
you
Kelly.
What are you cooking?
All right, y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Thanks.
Tell me what you're cooking, Pepper.
Oh, what are we having? Oh, I'm gonna do some bacon barbecue hamburger steaks.
Oh, I need some of that.
Yeah.
Come on to Virginia. I know, right? My husband said nobody wants to come to Virginia.
Aw.
He's like, we're trying to get out of Virginia.
Setting you up, sweetheart, and thank you for everything you do.
All right, thanks. Y'all have a good night, guys.
Thanks.
Take
I just
care.
want to say thank you, Chick Tracy, for gifting a membership. And Chris, you gotta stop drinking that wine, girl. I'm gonna make you be broke. So let's see. Chris, 10, 15, 20, hold it.
Wow.
21, 26, 46. Oh my God, girl. 51.
Wow.
You're
You
gonna be
deserve it, Kelly. You
tomorrow.
worked so hard.
51 people just became members. Oh my God.
You
Thank
not
you,
only
Chris.
kick, you
And
not
Chick-
only kick some ass, but you are like the biggest threat to NK and the biggest threat to DA Rourke, and we love you for that.
I'm gonna take that as a compliment, my friend.
It's a huge compliment. They're scared to death of you. They are scared to death of you, and they should be, because you're going to take them down, girl.
Yeah, well, Mr. Honorable himself has bothered a lot of channels, but has not bothered mine. But I have heard from. Well, we'll talk about that. I don't want to talk about it on here. Oh,
Okay.
Guilty of Crime. Welcome. How are you doing, sweetheart? Nice to see ya. So yeah.
Oh, Guilty of Crime. Hello, hello.
Another great channel. If you guys want to check out our girlfriend of this channel for sure, Guilty of Crime. Jay is amazing. So yeah.
Oh, Guilty of Crime, Kylie Rodney. Is that what you're talking about? Or,
Oh, Guilty of Crime, the channel, Jay's channel. Guilty
right,
of
but she just put Kylie. Is she talking about Kylie
Oh no,
Rodney?
there's someone.
Kylie Cosmos. Kylie Cosmos. Okay.
Kylie Cosmos. Yeah.
Oh.
So
yeah, Kylie Rodney is my girl, the way Shanann and Bella and Cece are your girls.
Yeah. I someday will go back and revisit that case, but
I am just. I've never been more solidly convinced that she was harmed by her frenemies, and it's so freaking obvious, and there's such a huge cover up. It's disgusting. And that Scammy Smith is so much like NK.
Oh, she very much is. That's for sure. They have very similar personality compositions.
Ugh.
It's just disgusting.
So
But-
I saw a HBO special series recently that I've talked about on my channel. I don't know if you've heard me talking about it, or if you've heard of the mini series. It's produced by Amy Adams, the actress, and it's called Sharp Objects.
I haven't, no.
And it's so good. It's so good. It's like eight 45-minute segments. It's unbelievable. You know who Amy Adams is, right? Like she first, I think her first big thing was Elle Enchanted.
Oh yeah, okay,
And
yeah.
She's just the bomb. She's so good. She's so good. So she produced it as well as stars in it. And it's just like the worst kind of, I don't want to say anything to give it away. It's such an awful miniseries. It's so good and it's so bad at the same time. But I felt like that miniseries gave me some insight into Kylie Rodney's case.
I'll have to check it out sometime.
And it's just really good. It's like based in a small town, and the family that basically owns the entire town. It's like Truckie's a small town, and Scammy's parents basically own that entire town. The whole thing about how they were in charge, that currently they're in charge of $34 billion worth of government contracts for the 2020s. $34 billion.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, like I knew that they was rich as F, and I knew that they were in control of all of the like community resources, but $34 billion of government contracts that extend from 2020 to 2030.
Now, what is in charge of contracts? 34.
Well, I don't know exactly. It's like they're not doing all of the.
They have some kind of connection to $34 billion worth of contracts.
Right. So they're not the ones that are getting all of that money, but they're in control of it.
Okay.
So,
wow, Jesus.
And it was only more recently, like in the last few months, that it dawned on me that the 25-year plus lawsuit litigation that Kylie's granddad has been in with the government over the water rights, that Scammy's parents have been the ones representing the government in that litigation. All of a sudden, a few months ago, it occurred to me that maybe their connection isn't as acrimonious as you would think that it would be with that type of drawn out litigation, that maybe that was intentional to keep the contracts rolling in. So, like Kylie Rodney's granddad was doing a favor for Scammy Smith's parents, keeping up this litigation so that they would keep getting paid for the litigation. And that maybe there's even some, this is a reach, but that there's some connection to him feeling entitled to some of that $34 billion or something like that. I don't know. I don't know, but I think it's all very valid questions.
Well, I'm sure they are. So I'm going to tell everybody to go over to your channel, check all that out, because right now my head is spinning and I'm not like, I can't even comprehend any of that. But everybody,
I'm sorry. I get so wrapped up in Kylie Rodney's case. I mean, I'd say my biggest downfall, or maybe it's a skill, is that whatever case I get involved in, I get so involved in it. Like I love finding all these crazy things out that you would never know, and it all makes so much sense. Like lately I've been talking a lot about the Martha Moxley case.
Wait, hold it. I'm going to have to stop you because you know how much I love and adore you, my friend.
Yeah.
But I really am like so tired.
No, that's fine, girl. I know. Me too. I need to get off of here too. But you know Martha Moxley, right?
Yeah, I do. But I just want to tell everybody that, Justice A through Z talks about like all of these things and goes in depth and goes, like follows all kinds of leads and paths on her channel. So if you like that kind of thing, and I know y'all do, definitely go check out her channel. And I absolutely love her and love hearing talk about this stuff, but Mama just got to go to bed. Seriously.
Yeah, I call it free association lately. That's my style, is free association. But yeah, I'll hop off of here too, because then I know that you'll be able to hop off of here quicker if I hop off of here. And yeah, I need to go as well. So thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for coming up. And I love your new mic and like I like your whole little scene there. It looks good.
Oh, the lighting is so fun. So yeah, I have my studio.
You don't have your chakra tree or whatever power, but you guys different.
Right. Well, that's my studio downstairs. I'm in my bedroom upstairs, and yeah, the lighting is totally different. But yeah, it's really relaxing. So even if I'm not videotaping my yoga, I like to have this lighting for doing it. It's fun. But thank you and Happy New Year. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you so much. Happy New Year. And thanks for coming up. I love you. Everybody go check out Justice A through Z. And, you know,
thanks for having me. Thanks for all the
soon.
support from chat. You guys are so nice. It's all about the community building.
Absolutely.
It really is. It's surprising, but that's what it's all about.
Totally.
So that and finding your voice.
Yes. And speaking the truth and presenting facts.
And fighting people who can't fight for it themselves.
Yes. All right, girl. I'm going to shoo you now because I got to thank a few people here that I've missed along the way, and then I really got to go to bed.
Love and light.
Take care. Okay, so my gosh, you guys gifted so many memberships, and I just want to make sure I got everybody. Honey Bun, Sherry, I know I said thank you. Chris, my gosh, so generous. Thank you. I've missed the heck out of you, and I'm so happy to see you. And like so many people are members now because of you. And also, let's see. I was gonna say, I'm mixing up my moderators now. Chick Tracy, see guys, I'm getting tired when I'm not in my game like that. I'm tired. Beach Bombs, been a member for 8 months. MK Connecticut, I don't think I said thank you, and it's been great to see you too. I've been missing you too, girl. And Kylie Cosmos, and I'm so sorry if you were getting ready to come up when your little one's going to sleep, but I really do. Just gotta go. It's been a really long week, and I've been up for, well, holy cow. Yeah, way too long. But listen, so tomorrow night, God willing, unless like I'm just like too kicked to do it. We'll do it tomorrow night at 9. It's just a freaking, I've already got the video done. It's a premiere. I don't even have to talk. So tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, we're going to premiere the first part of the 3-part series of the week countdown to the date of the tragedy when Chris Watts' family was annihilated by himself and with the help of another. And the depth and detail of this information and timeline, I just can promise you like times 50 that it is, it's going to be something different for you. So let me just bring in a little like snippet of that. And then I am going to go. And I just love you all so much for being here. And thank you, moderators, subscribers, members. Oh my God, so many new members. People just checking us out. Hit subscribe if you weren't gifted one, but y'all may have been gifted one at this point. And we're just so happy you're here. Let me just change gears, get into my YouTube studio. And yeah, well, we did get into the vault. It wasn't exactly everything I was planning on talking about, but that's perfect because we talked about a lot of vault stuff, and I still have tons of shit in the vault for next time. Seems like that always happens because there's just so much information. And when I say vault, I mean there is a vault. There's items that have not come out. And yeah, surprises to come. All right, so got to get to my videos. Let's see. I don't want to give away the big stuff. So let me go to this part. Well, this isn't going to be anything like super. Well, it just is what it is. It's a part of the video. Pretty far into it, but you'll appreciate it, I think. Okay. Yeah. Where are you, Dave Baumhover? That's what I need, my boy, Dave Baumhover. Okay. I'll start here. Oops, I got to bring this to stream. Wow, I am really tired. But y'all know that. You're probably tired too, aren't you? Hey, honey. After he left her place, was searching for marrying your mistress. Now, what does that tell us? At this time, she still knew that she was the mistress.
You guys are so silly. Okay, let's go to school.
The most telling things that happens on that very eventful day, August 8th, 2018. The day after the whole family returns from their visit in North Carolina is Chris Watts deleting his Facebook, and I am going to explain. Oops, and then there's this big pause because this isn't the finished video. Hold it, I got to get through the big pause. This is when yeah, here he is, Dave. Or asked him directly about him deleting his Facebook. Why'd you do it? When'd you do it? Here's what he had to say.
How about your Facebook account? You deleted that at some point. When did you do that? And why?
I think it was, got back August 7th. Went to work. I think it was probably August 8th. That's when Nikki told me she told her friends about me. And I just figured, they'd probably look me up on Facebook and see that she was pregnant. If Nikki already knew probably already, but I did that.
First of all, I want to note the last thing he said, that Nikki probably knew it already. I honestly had not heard him say that in his interview until I was making this video, and oh my God. We will be returning to this.
You're so damn sexy.
Thank you so much for coming out here with me.
Yo, I'll talk about Melanie Ferris. I'm all over that case. We'll talk about it sometime in the next week, okay? You got it. Your wish, my command.
Christopher, I'm having a wonderful time. You mean a lot to me, and I'm glad that you're having a blast. I am so out of breath.
But Chris Watts says that he deleted his Facebook account because Nikki told him that she told her friends about him. Keep that in mind. Let's take a listen to Nicole Kessinger telling Kevin Kovac, the interviewer, for the billionth time that she did not know that Shanann was pregnant, and then she's going to talk about the times that she saw Chris Watts after he and his family returned from North Carolina. And she mentions that Wednesday, August 8th. Take a listen.
So you guys never had a conversation about the child, period.
I didn't know at all.
All right. And by your words, if you did know, you would have ended the relationship.
Well, because it wouldn't have made sense to me that he's like, I'm getting separated. Oh, by the way, I have a baby on the way. It's like, you are a liar.
Oh, Miss Kessinger, you are a liar. Because at this point, it's a proven fact that you knew that Shanann Watts was pregnant with Chris Watts' baby, probably all along. If you're interested in watching a video about this, I'll leave a link to that video in the description box.
You're just trying to sleep with me. That's what I would have probably interpreted that as, and I'd have just shut that off at work, and that would have been the end of it.
Okay. All right. We can move past that. The week that he comes back from North Carolina, you don't remember, somewhere in the first couple of weeks of August.
Yeah, I think it was the second week, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
They're coming fast and furious. I dare to say that is another lie, because remember this interview takes place on August 16th, 2018. Nicole Kessinger knows exactly when Chris Watts left for North Carolina, and she certainly knows exactly when he returned.
So we'll just use August as a time frame. Is that fair? Because he left in July and he comes back in August. How many times do you think you see him?
I saw him a few times. I saw him this past Saturday. I saw him the Wednesday before that. And he wanted to see me more. I was the one who wanted my space. I was like, nope, your kids are home. Go hang out with your kids. And even on Wednesday, I cut it short. Like, he came and hang out with me for a few hours. Then I was like, go chill with your kids.
And y'all, our girl is on a roll, because we know from the geotab information that Chris Watts was at Nicole Kessinger's apartment on that Wednesday, August 8th, for 2 hours and 50 minutes. I mean, I guess, is she cutting that short? I don't know. But that is the same day when she gifted him a key to her apartment, knowing how much that would mean to him. Don't want to give away too many of the details. So, yeah, premiering tomorrow night. Okay, Chris, so this is a live stream, like when I can get on and talk, and like everything that's going up is like the decision I'm making at the moment. Hopefully I have something prepared. Sometimes like I make videos ahead of time, like people do different things. So a premiere is like I make a video, like an upload, like a homemade video that takes me, I don't know, depending on how long it is, 20, 40 hours to make. For me at least, they take a really long time. And the first 15 minutes of this video, I was telling Honey Bun earlier, took me like 12 hours or something to make. And people I'm sure could do it faster, but I get obsessed over certain things. Obsession. Oh, it's the obsession. A premiere is just when I make a video, instead of just like putting it on YouTube and saying, here, y'all, just watch whatever you want. It's like, oh, hey, YouTube, I want to premiere it now. Then you only got 3 minutes to let people know or to get notifications out. And then it sends out notifications and people can come and watch it together. And I can't like talk or change anything. I've already uploaded all the content, but then I'm in chat with you and we can all like type chat, communicate. So that's the difference. So, all right, guys, I love y'all so much. Appreciate y'all. I know I've already said that before, but I mean it twice, thrice, thrice, dice, you know, lots of times. And remember, life can be really hard. So please be good to each other. You guys were awesome tonight. I just love our community. Thank you all for being respectful. And most of all, be good to yourself because gosh darn it, you deserve it. Yeah. And everyone rest up because we are all going to have to work our butts off tomorrow to pay Chris back. Chris, thank you so much. It was super generous of you. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 9 for the premiere. Love ya. Bye.